Is he
So
really?
yeah, dude.
I actually didn't know that. That's
Dude.
crazy. I bet he's got some
He,
stories, dude.
oh, I'm sure, dude.
Yeah.
None that we probably could tell on here.
Probably not. Oh, there it is.
Wait, whoa. Oh,
Yeah,
we've been
Casey
live.
just snuck us in a live.
Damn, sneaky Casey,
sentence.
dude.
All right.
Banana.
Exactly, dude.
What's going on right now?
You're listening to the Cali Death Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 192. I am your host, Anthony Trapani. Always, I got some resident homies with me. Casey, Howard, Joseph K is with me right now. What up, dudes?
Hey.
Yo.
Hi.
Hello.
And tonight we're joined by Sam Mooradian. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thank you, dude.
Super
from Fallujah.
Super Love the theme song, by the way. I saw Chris did that.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got a shout out.
Learn that.
Chris
Very
Beatty.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
always it's right there at the end of the video, but people still ask where it came from. So shout out to Chris Beatty from fucking the Zenith Passage, Dreamer. He hooked us up with that back in the day, all out of just charity, and we love that. It was exactly what we wanted as soon as we heard it, and it's been that ever since, and it won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So
unless
sick.
Chris wants to come out with like some new shit, dude. Maybe an updated
2.0
version with some solos and shit.
Be pretty hype, man. People would love that. I would love that. I loved that before I saw Chris's name on it, but now I love it even more. So yeah, nice. Very cool.
Yeah, his whole thing was, to harness that Cali sound, dude. And he did it fucking perfectly.
Yeah, pretty sick.
But yeah, dude. Thanks for being with us tonight, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is awesome. I've
Thank you, Sam.
been a fan for a little while now,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's a cool place for us to be able to hang out with awesome dudes like you, and we get to do it every week still, and I'm very grateful for that, dude. So yeah, we're hanging. Everybody's already got fools in the chat already. Battleforgecoffee.com. Go over there. That's the nice segue. It's a coffee company that we back. It's a quality product. I wouldn't be bullshitting you guys, and they got great t-shirts, comfortable t-shirts, I must say, and they don't they last a long time.
Hashtag scoop the beans.
Yeah, dude, get yourself a bag of Battleforge coffee.
This is exactly what the bag looks like. This is actually the print quality on the bags.
Looks like C4.
Yeah, dude. Well, they source it properly, and they put all the money in the beans, dude. You don't need a crazy package, unless they're trying to get into Safeway, then they can up their game. But either way, it's quality stuff.
Sounds
Go
like
over there, buy your coffee from there.
Dude, pretty sick.
GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com, Oceanside, California. A physical place for you to go play with other humans and make loud noises with all your various instruments. If you want to do that, go do it there at Generator Rehearsal Studios, and hit up GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com to find out how. Merch is still TBA on when that'll be available. Oh, Joseph might have something for us.
There's an update.
Uh-oh.
All right.
I think I know what it is.
Merch might be available.
I did not
this
know
weekend.
I was wrong.
Hopefully.
Sorry.
Nice. Let you in on a little secret, Sam. Joseph has relocated from SoCal to NorCal, and what got left in SoCal was all of Cali Death Podcast's merch.
All of
there it is.
The entire single bin of it. Yeah. which
single bin.
which did not fit in my moving.
No, I mean, if you want to really weigh it out, dude, of course that would have to stay behind. You gotta have your essentials, dude.
Is it a full single bin at least? It's
no, but it's not. It's more. It's half full. I'm not saying half empty either. It's half full.
We got an optimist.
And there's some other stuff in there too that I'm happy to get back. But I have a friend coming up, so he's gonna bring the merch, and then I will have it here, and I can ship it out to the guy I need to ship out a shirt to, plus anyone else who wants to buy some shit from us.
Once it's available again,
Shout
you can
out
get
to
it.
the gentle, silent patience of our customer.
Dude, bet.
So
there it is.
Yeah, dude. Super shout out. Maybe we give him a little bonus for the wait or something like that. We'll figure something out. But yeah. What do you got, Joseph?
No, Sam has a Bandcamp page that I'm ready to showcase when he's.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
hell yeah,
I'm down with that.
Hey, it's the plug section, dude. We gotta get all the Sam stuff.
Hi.
Full on, yeah.
Oh, there's my big dumb face.
Who did that? Who did that art piece right there?
That is Brendan McAllister, whom I recommend anybody who's into art go follow on Instagram. He is extremely talented Massachusetts-based artist who I just discovered while looking for album art on Instagram, and I hit him up and I said, this is like the perfect piece. Yeah, and I found also he's got a bunch of other pieces that I really liked. So I used those for singles, and yeah, and he was more than willing to let me use his art for my debauchery. And there's another one.
That's super cool, dude. Let me see that one up close. Yeah, dude, that's sick.
Yeah, the full piece is even cooler. It's like a bigger, I had to crop it in for the album art, but you know how it is.
How big are these pieces when he does? Because you can obviously tell that it's done by hand, you know, it's not some graphic art.
Actually, he does do a lot of digital. He does paintings too. I think these ones are all digital, but I was surprised to find that out too. I thought they were canvases.
That is insane, dude. How like real graphic art can, because you always think of you know, the normal death metal covers and all this shit where it's easily you could see it's done on a computer, but to do something on a computer but mimic the by hand look and feel, that's, I mean, he takes a lot, dude.
To be fair, he's using like a stylus, I think, on his so he's like painting, but it is still a digital painting. But man, he everything that he does is super sick and interesting. It's got like an Americana vibe to it that I really fuck with. I don't know what it is exactly. It's hard to put it all into words, but something about it spoke to me. So
that's what's up, dude. That's all it needs to do. I mean, it's going to connect, especially as a solo. When you're doing a solo album, it all represents you. So if you're not doing your own artwork, the artwork needs to click with you
for sure.
You put it on top of everything that you made, you know.
Yeah, doing my own artwork was not going to work.
Not an option.
Kyle did his own artwork for the Archaeologist release that he just did, and I'm kind of like blown away that he's able to do like all the music, and then he also does like the artwork. Like any artist who does that, I did do that in the past for an EP or a couple EPs or whatever, that some of them no longer exist anywhere because they're terrible. But anyway, I just kind of decided like there's no way that I could pull that off and be happy with it.
That's pretty crazy.
Got to outsource something, you know. So anyway, really psyched with how that turned out. But yeah, thanks for the shout out, man. I was not expecting that. That's
no, dude. We like up top and at the end, we like to make sure that everybody knows where they can go to, you know, source anything about the artist or person that we're talking about, you know.
Cool. Yeah.
Obviously we're going to plug some Fallujah stuff right now too. Where's everybody need to go for, what's the best way to get in touch or buy merch from Fallujah?
Well, that's a great question. I think we've got our Instagram where we're always kind of monitoring the DMs, and then we got merch on indiemerch.com. And we have a Patreon too. That's kind of like the main place that I would recommend people go check it out. It's patreon.com/Fallujah, I believe. I should probably triple check that just so that I know for sure.
I got it. Yep.
Oh, you beat me
to it. It is patreon.com/Fallujah.
What kind of perks do you get if you're a Patreon patron of your Patreon?
We do have perks. Yeah, we have a handful of them too. We give away, free tabs. Everybody gets invited to our private Discord, where we're always kind of on there too, hanging out. And then every month we do like a meeting with everybody on video, so anybody in the Discord can join us and hang out for hour and a half or so.
Nice.
And then there's also fun stuff like sneak peeks of new music and things like that. I think there's a exclusive gift for anybody who's in a certain tier for 3 months. I forget what tier it is, but yeah, so a handful of stuff.
The Empyrean tier.
Dude,
I'm
you are
looking
so
at
on
it right
top of
now.
this.
That's why we call him the professor, dude.
Yeah,
I could have done this the whole time and left you less in the dark about it, but here they are.
Thank you for handling this. Fantastic job.
The alpha incipient. What's incipient? Name? Incipient.
Yes, there you go. But yeah, we're pretty active over there, and we've been trying to grow it as much as we can. It's like the ultimate way to support us right now. If you're not just already streaming the music or whatever, that's amazing. Oh yeah, we do the album of the month.
Album of the month.
One of us will pick an album, and we write up a little thing about it, and there you can see mine from.
I fully support bands using Patreon or however version of that they do it through. I'm sure there's other versions besides Patreon, but I back it. And I actually, when that started to happen, there was a lot of backlash. I remember, I think Legion was one of the first bands that I had heard getting a Patreon, and they just got a wave of shit for that.
They really?
Oh yeah, dude. There was tons of people that were pissed that they got a Patreon. And at the time, I'm like, you guys we're all starving musicians at various levels, but in this underground music, it's gonna be hard for anybody to try and make a living off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are hardcore fans that want to, bank on their favorite artists continuing to make their art and being able to afford getting out on the road and all this kind of shit, it makes total sense to have something like that. I mean, I subscribe to a few different, podcasts or other things in my life that I know that I'm putting my money towards something that I don't ever want to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So at least from my point, I'm, trying to help. And I think that it's a great way to make the extra income as a unit in the underground scene where there's no money in the first place.
Sure.
So that whatever percentage that is of how Fallujah works, it's something to give a little bit of a cushion to make sure that you guys continue making music and be able to balance that with your normal outside of your lives outside of it. And,
Yeah, it's definitely it's hugely, helpful to us, but it's also just a great indicator of what our support system looks like, and it's pretty cool to be able to grow that. And
Totally.
Scott's in the chat. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Then second thing,
I am cold actually.
Shout out to Scott.
Did you raid in, dude?
He's also. I think he did.
He raided in.
And he also mentioned that maybe you guys want to hit up his PayPal as well.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, we all have PayPal, so if you have all of our PayPals,
Venmos.
Listen, I'm the one here on Cali Death right now. If anybody's
what's up, dude? Scott, you better back off, dude. No,
sick, dude.
But yeah, however you can financially support these bands, go do it, because that's what keeps them coming with more shit, dude.
Damn, Soli's also in the chat with the merch link, the indie merch. So
dude,
sick.
Soli's been busting out those links for the chatters.
Dude, hell yeah. Thank you, Soli.
And thank you for everybody else who came with Scott too. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, Patreon seems cool, man. It also just, I think when Legion did it, there was like a misconception that it was like, we just want you to just give us money and then we'll just keep doing what we do as a band. But I don't think that was their intention. They were planning on putting out content on the Patreon and everything. I think the metal community didn't understand the platform yet, even though it had already been around in like the gaming community and other places for a while, like podcast communities and whatever. But I think now everyone kind of knows a little bit more that if a band has a Patreon, it's like more than just giving them money while they just are a band. Like your Patreon has a ton of extra content, access, all that stuff, which you already mentioned. So
yeah, we're always trying to. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off. We are always trying to like find things that we can give to the patrons, and one of the biggest ones is guitar tabs, for example. Like try and give as many of those as we can, and like I said about the special gift for every 3 months, that kind of deal. Like
nice.
Oh yeah,
all that. Try and stay engaged. The Discord, all that.
It's as I think when Riley from Allegiant at the time was talking about, he called it a fan club, and that is like a old school, like everyone understands. I remember Slayer, wasn't that like a famous fan club? Death, all these bands had fan clubs, which sounds kind of cheesy, the wording of it, but like you'd subscribe, you get mailed shit. It'd be cool, right? It's kind of like that for the digital age.
They changed it to Street Team. Is Street Team's kind of the same thing?
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I have heard of the Street Team. That's right.
I was on the Slipknot Street Team, and I thought it was so cool to get tapes back in the day to pass out at shows and shit like that.
Sure.
Keep one for myself. I'm listening to the Heretic song before everybody else. What's up, dude?
There you go. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I think all these metal bands are making way too much money. Dude.
Dude. We need to rein that in a little bit, dude.
About this, man.
Something's got to be done. Yeah.
Can't take it anymore.
Jeez.
So is that it for you, Sam? Just a solo project and then Fallujah? Or you got any other?
That's pretty much my focus these days. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I do a little bit of audio engineering here and there, and take on the occasional like guest solo or mix for somebody here or there. But mainly focused on Fallujah and my solo material when Fallujah's got some downtime. So
that's cool, dude. So where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
Michigan, actually. Troy, Michigan is where I was born. So
no shit. How long were you in Michigan before you came out to the coast?
That's I think 24 years. 24 years.
Okay, so we got some stuff to talk about in Michigan then.
Yeah, like how it's fucking freezing and nobody likes it. There are great things about Michigan, but living there is not one of them, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I moved to North Carolina for like 8 months, something like that, when I was 24, and then wound up moving to Boston. And then I lived in Boston for 2.5 years, and just recently moved to Tennessee, to Nashville.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you never even came out to California. No. This was after the move.
I've been to California a million times, but I've never lived in California. Although I seriously considered moving there in like late 2019. I actually took a trip to, I think I stayed in Burbank for a little bit, and I was kind of looking at maybe going out there. I met with I do like some video freelance here and there, so I was meeting with a video production company out there and seeing about like maybe there's some work out here for me, something. But there were like some crazy fires, and it was crazy expensive. And so I was like, I don't know if this is the right time. I just graduated, so I didn't wind up doing that. And then the pandemic happened, and I was so glad that I didn't move.
Right. Right.
So you were about 60 years too late to move to California.
All right. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Something like that. 60 to 100.
Man.
When was the gold rush? Like 1920.
1840s, I think.
I actually, side note, I took my family to Coloma, which is where the gold rush popped off in California. It's actually pretty cool to go up there.
Oh, that's
you
sick.
pan that river there, and there's actually still a little bit of gold in that river right there. Yeah.
Is it like the area that you're living
crazy, just flakes. You're like, oh shit, dude.
Goddamn.
Isn't Rockland the area? It's kind of gold rushy up there.
The place that I'm talking about is like 40 minutes from there or something, I think. Yeah. Coloma. Yeah. But I mean, all that up there. Everybody, as soon as it popped off there, everybody probably just spread out and started looking everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
We should get a Cali history expert someday on to tell us about the state we rep.
Right.
That's one
Maybe
thing we
that
haven't
would actually
talked
be
enough
pretty
about in
sick.
this podcast is the gold rush. You know,
You
What
should
if
get
we-
somebody like somebody who's really into like California history, and then somebody who's really into death
Yeah.
metal history, and then get them to
Mhm.
corroborate their stories together, so that you
Dude.
can like start to see how history influenced the scene.
Right.
I think that's for sure. a
Find
thing.
some missing links for sure.
I had to take
Maybe.
a history of California class when I like finally graduated college, whatever, and I was like 30, and I was like, whatever, and I was just like, I just had to take this random GE class, and I was like, whatever, at SF State, and like this, I took this history of California class, and I was just like the whole time, just like, get out of town, really? Like, what the fuck? I didn't know like all of this shit. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was like, nobody told me any of this stuff. Like, or maybe I forgot all of it, but it was like,
Do you
some
have like
crazy shit.
a crazy California fact that you could share with us? Something that
Nah,
stands
dude.
out?
I can't remember.
I'm putting you on the spot, I know, but
There was a lot of gold rushy stuff
Sure.
for sure.
sure.
But yeah, it was just like claim jumpers and then all the like Native American stuff, and then the missions and all that. I mean, like I learned that stuff like growing up earlier, but it was just interesting, like being reminded again, like, and I was like 30 something at the time, 31, 32, just being like, oh, dude, what? Like, I didn't
Claim
know.
jumpers are like the first burglars. They'd come onto your property that you claim and steal your gold. Right? That's what a claim jumper did.
Oh,
you
you
got
said
claims on
claim
land.
jumpers?
That's what it is.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said plane jumpers, like people.
No,
who jump
it's
out of planes.
what he's saying. A
Like
claim
people are
jump-
jumping out of planes and burglarizing your houses.
A claim is somebody who owns a plot of land that nobody can dig for or pan for gold on that within the boundaries of their property.
Uh-huh.
The
So
restaurant,
people
yeah.
Claim. I know there is the restaurant which it ties into California.
Called
I've
claim
always been
jumpers.
confused about why that restaurant is named after whatever it is. So now I know.
Yeah. If I might be mistaken what the jumper thing, but I'm pretty sure a claim jumper is jumping. It's like jumping over the lines of somebody's property and panning their gold. Because I know a guy who actually does that up in Alaska, and I've held like a $10,000 gold nugget.
$10,000 gold.
$10,000 gold nugget he brought because I work on his van that he drives up to Alaska every year to go do his time digging on his plot of land that he's claimed, and he finds some crazy shit, dude. I'm dealing with like flakes with when we pan, but you do it in large scale, you end up finding nuggets, and this one was worth $10,000, dude. And I was holding it. I was like, dude, that is so wild that much gold, even though it's probably like the size of like a ping pong ball, maybe a little bit more.
It's just like super dense.
Yeah.
Nice and polished.
Imagine panning and then that thing rolls out, dude.
I would love that. That'd be great.
That's pretty cool to like
I'll
have
take my $10,000 gold nugget, please.
have land and not know if there's $10,000 nuggets lying around, like not knowing like the actual property of
Do you ever think
the
about
value
that?
of your property.
Sometimes when like I'm on tour, especially, I think about what are all like the lost treasures that have got to be out here. There's got to be some treasure out there, like in the desert, dude.
For
Oh, yeah.
sure.
There's also probably like some bodies and shit.
Oh, definitely.
God,
It's
Probably
crazy.
some bodies with some treasure right near them, dude.
Don't you get like money if you find a dinosaur like on your property?
Probably.
I think you
That'd be
do, dude.
Is that a
Money.
job? Do some people go dinosaur hunting? And
Well, like in Colorado,
yeah.
and shit, like my uncle lives in Morrison by Red Rocks, and like there's a lot of dinosaur shit out there.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, they've like dug up
Yeah.
a lot of dinosaur bones. Like that'd be crazy if like your backyard, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna dig a pool, like, and it's like, I got the okay from the power company, and it's what's this bone? It's like a Tyrannosaurus head. You're like, damn, dude, I can't dig my pool because there's this bone. They come out and it's just like, oh yeah, I think you get money, dude.
That'd be
that's
sick.
sick.
Well, I
I
mean,
want to see Poltergeist, but instead of people, it's dinosaurs ghosts because they're like digging their pool out and renovating their house, but they find like the corpses of dinosaurs, and so they're haunted by velociraptors.
Dude,
That'd
that
be a
is so
sick
funny.
movie, dude. Velociraptor ghosts running around, like running
That's the
through walls
that's one of the arguments
That's
against
good.
ghosts. Like, why don't we see any dinosaurs? Why is it only
because they don't
people?
have
Why
souls. Obviously, I mean,
Oh,
that's
right,
just
dude.
Interesting.
right.
that's
yeah.
you're throwing me softballs, dude.
That'd be a
We're
good horror
fucking-
movie, like dinosaur ghosts.
Be pretty crazy, dude.
Stupid, but
You're gonna tell me that fucking what is it, Littlefoot from what's the cartoon dinosaur
Before
movie
Time.
from that?
Mm.
Land Before Time? That kid
Okay.
doesn't have a soul, dude. Come on, dude. He's
You
got
know
a
what?
soul.
You got a good point there, dude. Cartoon ghosts definitely, or cartoon dinosaurs definitely have souls.
the
Yeah.
Brontosauruses had souls, but not the T-Rexes. They're mean, you know.
No, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only the dinosaurs
Honestly-
that could make you cry have souls.
What?
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
What is scarier, a human ghost or a velociraptor ghost?
Oh, fucking hell, Velociraptor, dude. Come on.
You think so?
Weird.
I don't know. Maybe
Well,
maybe it might be sick, and
Do
then
ghosts bite?
no, they don't. They just
Ghosts-
fucking make noises and go through walls and shit.
We got answers
Exactly.
over here, dude.
See, human ghosts would be
X-Raptor
like
says, "I know."
psychologically scary, right? We've got
We have multiple
Sex
raptor
and Raptor Man.
comments.
We have multiple chatters that have Raptor in their names that are defending themselves,
Uh-oh.
dude.
There's ghosts in the chat, dude.
Hell yeah.
There's
Oh,
ghosts
man.
in this room right now.
All right,
Terrifying.
let's
Back
get
on
out
the
of it.
timeline.
Yeah, let's get into you, Sam. So you
Okay.
said you were born in Michigan.
Yeah.
How we usually start the show, we like to ask if you could possibly recall one of your earliest memories where creativity clicked with you, whether it be
Oh.
art or movies. Some people say video game music, some, what their
Sure.
parents are listening to, or it might not even have been music. It could have been some other way of art that clicked that creative side of your brain into the path that you're on
Yeah.
still today.
Well, I mean, from a musical standpoint, I for sure remember like listening to old like 70s, 80s, more 80s, 90s, right? Not 70s, but like Megadeth Metallica records. My dad, he would always play those when we were in the car together from like a
Nice.
really young age, I'm sure.
What year were you born?
96.
Okay.
So I'm dating myself, but there you go. Well, the
It's all
opposite.
good. We just want to know what time on our
I was-
timeline you were
Sure,
growing
sure.
up.
I was
what-
13. So
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
that's talking about dating.
I was 12. Yep,
Speaking of
yep.
dating,
Good
oh, look. who-
Hello. Wow.
What's
Player
up?
5.
How's it going?
I added
How
him
you doing, Sam?
first.
Can you guys hear
Joel
me?
made it, everybody. Yeah, we got you.
I
What's
hear
up,
you.
Sam? How's it going, dude?
Good to see you, man. How are you?
Just keeping it real. Just ran back from work, and now I think I walked in right when the question was being asked.
The question,
Oh,
the
wow.
one that starts off
The question.
everything.
The
Oh,
question.
you missed it. You missed the
Yeah.
dinosaur ghost aspect
yeah.
of it, though, which was way cooler, I think.
Actually,
Dinosaur
when
ghost, dude.
Osa had it playing, and you guys were talking about claim jumpers, and I was like, "What is a claim jumper?" And then you guys went into the definition of it, so I had to wait for the definition of it, and then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go in the office and go jump on it." I just noticed a restaurant that makes like
That's like-
lasagna, and they make like that's pretty much all.
No,
I
it's
really
one of
know.
the
It was
it's
like-
one of those places. where you-
Lasagna. Who gets lasagna at claim jumper, bro?
Dude, they have.
I've never been to
I
a
do
restaurant.
not want to try the lasagna.
Dude, it's like a
claim
giant steak or a giant.
Yeah, it's
like,
Is
the
it really?
portions are
fat,
gigantic.
huge portion
dude.
of fucking food. Like,
Oh, it's
They
like
have a
Buca de
burger
Beppo or
that's-
something.
That's like literally this tall. It's called the Widowmaker, dude, and it's like two
Good
giant fucking beef patties and
Yeah, it's
onion
at
rings and all that
Safeway,
kind of shit
they
in there.
only had the lasagna, the frozen lasagna. That's all I ever knew. Like they just in the frozen section, you see
I
claim
gotcha.
jumper. That's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
I didn't know it was an actual
Nah,
restaurant.
dude.
Then I moved to
Nah.
Sacramento and like, oh, there's a claim jumper over there, and then I didn't know what they actually served.
over here
What
by
is claim jumper?
Legoland now. Like, off-
Oh, don't
Yeah,
get me started
I'll
on
still get
Lego,
into it.
dude.
yeah.
Dude,
But
claim
dude,
jumper
the-
does not sound like a real place.
It
Dude,
is.
guys-
dude.
Is this
It's
for real?
gone.
It's-
Or they went out of business over here. I don't know how they went out of business because it's like a legend. But dude, the dessert, the crazy fucking moose pie thing or whatever the fuck that thing was, that
Wow.
everyone always got that like insane dessert, dude. Come on, someone in the chat has to know.
Is this like a
It's-
Golden Corral?
was
It's like kind of a buffet.
No,
Absolutely.
no,
It's
it's
like
a
a
nice restaurant.
Steakhouse. I'm
It's,
looking at
it's
this right now.
definitely it's good quality shit. It's just that's definitely for a person who just wants to go 100% gluttonous.
Yeah, it's like surf and turf, like lobster steak, fucking giant with a huge portion of just
You
Dude.
leave very uncomfortable.
Oh, you can't walk out of there.
Yeah.
You have to be carried.
It's the American
You
way.
roll
Dude.
out of there.
Yeah,
It's the American way.
It's the ultimate
Okay.
gluttonous. Like,
There
You're in
are
a chair or
there are 11 claim jumpers. 5 of them are in California.
okay.
Okay.
All in Southern
Yeah.
California at this time.
Yeah, there
The
was
rest
one in
of it-
Sac, but it probably closed.
Oregon, Washington, and Nevada. So
huh?
We used to go for birthday parties as kids and shit. Like this one down here in Carlsbad, all the time, dude. But
I
it's
think
not the-
we're losing the chat, to be honest. with the claim jump.
They're like, fuck.
We
We're
gotta
here
guys
for
been
Fallujah.
leaving
Well, you guys don't
time.
want to talk
We're
about
talking
niche
about-
restaurants on the
Niche-
West
That's
Coast?
the
It's not
Podcast.
niche. This is important. Yeah, exactly.
So they can leave, but then they're gonna miss when we actually get into shit that they
All right,
want.
all right.
They
Back to
gotta stick
Fallujah.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Let's stay on topic here.
Take us.
There you go.
take
No,
us-
we don't, but that's the thing is we can do that, but eventually we get off topic because that's just how we do it. We're kickers.
Sure,
Sam's
sure,
our
sure.
claim, and let's jump on him.
I think this
Sorry,
is
didn't work.
partially my fault because we got on this whole thing about planes and claims,
Yeah.
jumping and restaurants and ghosts, and it just spiraled out of control.
And I
from
love
there,
it so far, dude. I'm having a great time.
Great.
All right, so talk about
Anyways.
being in Michigan.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
said Pops was bumping Megadeth, Metallica in the
Sure,
car,
sure.
and yeah, just talk about how that was when he was playing that stuff. Was it your dad telling you like this is real music, son, or were you just coming,
No.
getting your own connection with it while he
He
was
was-
listening to it?
He was just listening to what he would listen to, and I just kind of picked up on it, I think. And then, from my mom, I got like classic rock, classical music because she plays piano. And then my sister,
Nice.
a little older than me, she was really into like pop and hip hop. So kind of got like this huge musical. I mean, you should have seen my iPod growing up. It was like a bit of everything on
All over
it.
the place.
Yeah,
Actually,
Nice.
a bit of everything on it.
that's
And,
how my shit is too, dude. So we have
Sure.
that in common, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. And from there, I mean, again, just talking about music, I picked up the cello and the piano kind of early on, just out of like necessity. I think my school, they had like a rule where you had to pick an instrument, and so that just sort of happened. And then
Cello first or piano first?
cello first, and then
Wow.
piano like a year-ish later, just because my mom played. And
Wait,
So-
was cello your first instrument? Like
Yeah.
completely? That is
That's
interesting.
actually, I think that's a first on the show. 190.
Yeah, that's
hey,
kinda cool.
I'll take it.
I like that. Yeah.
There you go. I've thought about picking it up again.
That'd be
It's
cool.
been 20 years, but yeah, I would be down. I mean, I'd be kind of interested in what it would be like to like
Fuck yeah.
try
dude.
and play the cello again.
Sorry.
I
It's
love
like the apocalyptica shit.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, at the very least,
Good cello.
get one solid note out and then throw it into a mix and make it, I don't know, like a cool.
Apocalyptica
I
is
don't
a
know.
Cello's
great reference
badass.
on that.
Yeah.
Because like I
One
walked
thing-
into an apocalyptic
Thank
show
you.
and I was like, could not believe. I thought it was gonna be like a power metal band or something. I was like,
Yeah.
they were
yeah.
just all just ripping cello. I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
is this? And then they had the
Dude,
whole crowd
crazy
going. It was
stuff.
rad.
There's
Yeah,
a hip hop
there you go.
band called Subtle. That's a 6-piece. They all play it live, and one of the guys is an electric cellist. And I'm like staring at him the whole time when I saw them live, just to be like, I didn't even know they had electric cellos, and he's just shredding with it. And I'm
That's
just
fucking
like,
awesome.
what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, getting started with a fretless instrument to get started in music that's pretty. I mean, minus violin, maybe people get involved with young, but like cello, you don't really hear that
What,
too often.
was it Yo-Yo Ma, the shredder cello guy?
Yeah.
There's a
He's-
bunch of them, but yeah, he's pretty famous.
He's pretty
Um,
insane. I think he's
that's a
probably
sick
the most
name.
famous. It is
Our-
a sick name.
Our buddy Richard Houghton, his wife Nicole, she's like a cello. I mean, she plays bass and other things too, but she did cello in college at SF State, and she's badass, dude. I love it when people play cello like in front of me, like it's like the cool. It's like just right in front of you, like the acoustic like
Mm-hmm.
timbre of that instrument is just fucking. It's interesting how certain instruments like those kind of like ones before electronic stuff like have such an like crazy captivating vibe live, like a saxophone, even just like tenor sax or an alto sax, doesn't matter, but like those kind of instruments in front of your face, like 2 feet away, sound so incredible, and like
Right.
they just don't sound the same on a. I mean, there's great recordings, but it just there's something about those instruments like in real life. I don't know, like this
because it was
situational
before
error.
microphones and all that, so they had to build an instrument that would
totally,
project like that, you know.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
it's
sure
playing
the
cello.
history of it.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm on a delay.
It's like what they were able to make as instruments made them make a cello.
Yeah,
you know, it's like they needed something for that frequency range, right? A symphony. I mean, I'm guessing because I don't know the history or anything, but
for sure,
I'm guessing they needed something to make like that particular range, and so through experimentation, they were able to make like a cello, and then that became.
We could go on for like another 2 hours. Just
really,
about,
what it
like,
was. Somebody wanted to make a giant violin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Was
Totally.
like, that's sick.
That's
Well, let's
thing,
make it bigger and better.
Yeah.
No, they're just like tired of their kids practicing violin. They're like, get a bigger one. It's an octave low or something.
The
you know?
first
Then the
cellist
stand-up
is, like,
bass,
trying to play it.
No,
like,
yeah.
like,
The stand-up bass, the guy's like, dude, hold my beer, dude. Check this thing out.
Totally, double bass, bro.
Yeah, double bass. There it is.
That's the Yeah. Anyways, sorry. We could go on about this, but we should do that like later when it's like we've topped off 3 hours and we're like just ranting. At this point, we should get back to the meat of the matter.
But all right, yeah. So piano and cello was what, a year?
2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
Ish, something like that. Probably 2 years with cello, and one of those years was with piano. But then I found the guitar, and that's it. I mean,
came over.
It's kind of.
Were you doing both the cello and the piano at the same time, or did you move
for a little while? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I was a kid, so like not even really. It wasn't. It was just
did you find the guitar? Or did you hear something that made you want to play?
So
guitar?
It was. I mean, it was Guitar Hero. Really
nice.
I mean,
We've heard that
like
before,
straight up, dude. Like,
makes
but it
sense
was also,
with how old you are.
For sure, yeah. But it was the music on Guitar Hero more than anything else. It was Guitar Hero 2 specifically, and it was Laid to Rest by Lamb of God. Like, without a doubt, I heard that song and I was like, that's it. That's it. That's the thing. And Madhouse by Anthrax was another one.
Yeah.
And then Guitar Hero 2 had like all these bonus tracks. I don't know about the others or not, but so one of them was 6 by All That Remains. And Jordan by Buckethead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Dude,
nice.
Beast and the Harlot, Avenged Sevenfold. So I heard all these songs when I was 10, and I was like playing them on like a goofy plastic controller, so not for real. But
totally,
man, I
just you getting the feel, and it gives you the feeling of being a part of that song while it's playing.
Sure,
you're doing
I guess
something to make the song happen because you got to hit all the buttons at certain times, and
otherwise
if you don't,
it kicks you out.
Yeah,
you can't hear the rest of the song, and you get.
I mean, our version of that was
booze.
Before Guitar Hero, like Casey, Joel, and my age. It was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh,
I think that there's something about the soundtracks of those video games that delivered to us at a pivotal point in our development. Those songs just plant seeds in us that we follow those paths after that to find shit like it.
Thinking about that fucking that video game. What's it called? Rockstar. I don't even know what it's called.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero. I was thinking about like today, just driving to work. I was thinking because I went down a random the old school Dragon Force listening sesh, and I remember they had that one that everyone the super popular song, Fury of the Storm, not Fury of the Storm, but the other one,
the Fire and the Flames.
Yeah, that one. And I was thinking like there's these kids that just nail it like faster than like perfect, on the Guitar Pro or whatever, or Guitar Hero. And I was thinking like, I was having this debate with myself, just going, what's harder? Like going like, I know like you have to get the guitar and you have to get the amp and stuff, but I know I've seen a bunch of musicians try to play, go like reverse engineer and play the game, and they're just like, what the fuck is that? Like to them, it's just complete Chinese, the Greek to them. They have no idea what's going on. They're just like, what the fuck is this? And I don't like they probably because they spend so much time on one song, those Guitar Hero guys, to like nail those one songs, those just 10 hours a day, just doing that their little tapping sliding thing and to like recreate that versus like how many people can play a Dragon Force song is kind
Something
of like
just
where
clicked with me right now. So Sam has that video of him playing the Necro song at 150% or some shit like that. Where
You're thinking of the full album.
Kevin. Oh, okay.
So you played all of it at that
Oh, you did
percentage?
that?
No, just at 100%, just at normal speed.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Who did am I mixing you up with somebody
Kevin?
that
guy Kevin Heinrich guy. I know that guy's like pushing
Sorry,
all the
dude.
songs. Like
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, those
I came
guys
across
are
it at the same time, and I remember somebody making a comment that you did, Necro, so I just put it all together. But either way, I was going to say that mentality of gotta play it faster, I think that does come from the generation that played Guitar Hero and shit like that, because you do actually play it faster at certain times for maybe I'm making that up. Do they have a thing where they speed up the song during the video game?
I remember you could for sure slow down to practice the songs. I don't know about speeding up. You might have been able to. I mean, if you could have, I never did.
Well, there was that Frets on Fire. Do you remember that computer version of it, Frets on Fire? And I remember kids were playing songs at a faster speed. But I mean, maybe that just could be
it was on your keyboard,
shit,
right?
You know?
That was just on your keyboard, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It was like just hitting like ASDF, just going or something like that.
Are you talking about those YouTube videos where like people would somehow fly through the songs like all crazy and nobody could believe how they did it? Yeah, I have no idea how people did that. I mean,
there was actually an Odious Mortem version of that on Frets on Fire.
Hero.
It might still be on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, man, Guitar Hero was like a whole thing back when it came out. It was like a big.
So then you hear all those songs. So then you hit the internet. Like, what the fuck is Lamb of God? You know,
that's the thing, man. Is like I already had kind of the legwork was done because I listened to all that Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, Rush. You know,
all that was percolating in the brain already.
So I already had kind of like the seeds of metal were like kind of planted, and then I heard all those songs, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, sick." So yeah, I don't know how, but I very quickly after that found Job for a Cowboy.
Nice.
I have no idea how, but Entombment of a Machine came out right around that exact same time.
Okay,
with that viral scream and the video and everything. I mean, viral.
That's the first EP, right? The one with the cow. Well, I mean,
MySpace.
I think they do a cow skull.
MySpace,
yeah, dude.
So from there, I was like, well, death metal. I mean, so Cannibal Corpse, Necrophagist. I mean, but not just death metal. It was also like found bands like Gojira, and then quickly found Periphery and Animals as Leaders. Got like into prog metal and all that sort of stuff.
Any hip hop from your sister? Or were you like, fuck?
Sure, yeah. So, and also because I lived in Michigan, I was also really into Eminem.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a lot of Eminem at the exact same time. And then she had miscellaneous like Akon and Usher, and you know, I'm terrible with names, but yes, I was listening to like rap and hip hop and stuff.
Nice.
And actually now I'm still into rap and hip hop. Probably not as much as I would like to be. I would love to do like a deep dive into what's good these days, but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I love it all. Like truly, truly love it all. There's not a genre that I don't like or haven't found something that I do like, you know?
Country's a dry area for me. I
check out Jim White. He's like,
that's what I need. I need somebody to.
Me too.
You need a shepherd.
My wife, I love her to death, but my wife lets the masses feed it to her. So whatever's on the radio, all that kind of shit. I need to know where's the real like an underground country that is really in it for fucking innovating the genre that will make me understand that those dudes are out there.
Yeah, I'm honestly, man, I'm in the same boat, dude. Like, especially with country, folk, hip hop, indie, you know, all those genres. Like, I know I'm not even scratching the surface. I just like the handful of artists that I like. And occasionally, I try and branch out and find other ones, but it is hard. You know, it's not super easy for me to find like a country artist that I like. But
right.
So yeah, I don't know. Death metal, prog metal, experimental metal, like those are my circles more than anything else.
But being a guitarist too, have you like ever gotten into? Because I mean, like watching a lot of the like bluegrass or chicken picking guys, or the guys. To me, that's like we were talking about with a musician jumping on Guitar Hero. I watch that shit and I'm like, I see what they're doing, but like a lot of like the finger picking, chicken picking, like slide open things, or like the runs and shit they're doing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even like understand that. That's like
Dude, some of that stuff is like actually insane. I mean,
yeah,
actually insane. The closest I've ever gotten to any of that personally, like on the instrument, is like kind of maybe a tiny bit of classical style finger picking sort of stuff.
Yeah. Buckethead does it a lot too. He does a lot of that chicken picking. Like that's like a big thing. He just like randomly threw it. It's same with that John 5. Like when they do solo stuff, they'll like bust into like their normal solo sweep, all their stuff, and then they're like,
Sure.
Like, what the fuck? You're like, Jesus. Like,
I'll hear or come across some banjo shit that's shredding too. I'd like to know who's
I was thinking
the banjo shredders.
Mandolin as well. I've seen some crazy shit.
like banjo through a Kemper, dude. Just
Yeah. One of the things, like, I really want to start an instrument collection of like stringed instruments that are kind of like guitar, but obviously not guitars. Like, I would love to own a lute. I think that
What
would
the
be
fuck's a lute?
fucking sick. It's like a Renaissance instrument from like
Is that the one with like the
17th
big old?
century
It's
and
got like a
before.
big old butt. It's like
yeah. Pretty
yeah,
sure.
you see like the guys playing like
Yeah. Like, I'll never be able to play
I feel
it.
like I feel like more death metal bands should cover "Devil Went Down to Georgia" and do like a whole like.
That would be pretty cool, man.
That's
or
like,
in a mariachi band, they got the one instrument that's got the huge body. I don't know. It's not a guitar.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called though. It's,
what do you call
like
that?
the
Because the dude's got to like literally,
it's their
it's like
double bass
on
they're
his
doing.
stomach, but he's up here because it's just so much empty space of
It's not a
wood
sitar,
body.
is it?
No,
Talking about a Baja?
sitar.
Baja?
Yeah, I think
I don't
so.
know.
I think
So
so.
anybody pull up a
Baja?
picture,
Baja?
I'll tell you if that's what I think I'm talking about.
It's just like a Mexican bass.
It's just a bass.
It's just it blows my mind that there's so many versions of the stringed instrument, and everybody just thinks of guitar and bass. You know,
well, I mean,
Sure, yeah.
it's funny how they all have their own. It's like guitar, bass, this and that, and violin, cello, or viola, or whatever different.
so
Start a band with two
Just all the-
sitars.
Bass,
we're starting to
and a
nerd
lute.
out
Bass
on that
clarinet.
again. Though.
You guys seen a bass clarinet?
Yo, one of the best
There's
I
like
have-
long.
instruments.
one.
I mean,
That's a bass clarinet in the case. Should
you
I get
actually
it
have
out?
bass clarinet there, dude?
Does it reach like
Dude,
up
bust it out,
6
dude.
feet or something? Like, or
That's
how
sick.
tall is it?
Yeah, I'll show
Just
you right
How
now.
big's your
Yeah, so-
piece,
Do you
dog?
play bass clarinet?
Let's keep talking while Joseph sets up his bass clarinet.
Bro,
I love
that's
that.
That'd
so
be
sick.
sick.
Dude, Joseph plays like everything.
Yeah,
I did not know this.
Well, he's
We can have a
Swedish.
soundtrack to our conversation right now.
Yeah.
Dude, let's go. I think
Damn.
bass clarinet is one of the best sounding instruments, period. I mean,
Dude, Joseph, you're gonna now that he
Bruh.
said that it's one of the
Here we
best
go.
sounding, I gotta hear this thing.
pressure's
But
on, dude.
You're pretty close to
know.
the mic. I don't know how that's gonna register.
He's muted, but
I can't.
he's saying
I can't play it because some of the pads are broken. But I can put it together.
okay.
Excuses.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Here we go.
Has
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
done a bass clarinet library? Because I would love one,
That'd be fucking awesome.
even
Dude,
though it
I
won't
love
sound
this.
as good as Joseph playing it. But
How much spit do you think's still in there right now?
enough that he can't play it. Broke the pads right off of him.
It's a plumbing issue. It's backed up, dude.
I love how I just randomly brought a bass clarinet and you just happened to have one
So,
in the room. Like
I was a saxophonist from sixth grade through 10th grade, and then in that period I went from alto to baritone sax, the bigger saxophone, and then from baritone sax I was asked to switch to bass clarinet, which is similar register, and that's how I got into bass clarinet. And I played a
Trip.
school instrument for a long time, and then my friend's grandpa actually had one, and then I just inherited that some time ago, and this is it. This is probably from
Wow.
like the 50s or 60s. And I tried to get it on record. I played it on my brother's album, but I don't think he used the track, so I'm currently
Dang.
unrecorded on this instrument.
Dude,
So if
let's
anyone
change
wants
that.
to hire a session bass clarinetist, I'm available.
You can throw down some bass clarinet on one of my songs, dude, if you're down.
Let's
Hell
do it,
yeah.
dude. I fuck with Miles Davis. Bitches Brew has beautiful bass clarinet all over it. Bad
Sure.
Bad Not Good has been using it a lot lately. There's a lot of classic, dude. Actually from Twin Peaks, Anthony, I swear I heard bass clarinet in the soundtrack. Which
I'm
we have
sure,
a whole
dude. That's Badalamenti.
thing.
Angelo, shout out Angelo Badalamenti. That dude has
Yeah.
scored a lot of things from back in that era, dude. And he's got a great situation when it comes to composing, and when he's with a full band. There's also the Thought Gang. Check out Thought Gang. That's Lynch and him doing improv jazz.
Is it spelled like
God.
old thought or the kids thought?
Thought Gang.
I had the same thought, dude.
Yeah,
That was
thought.
but
That was your thought.
I decided not to ask it. So I'm glad you did.
What is
Oh,
Thought?
me.
Out of the
Oh,
That was my
dude,
thought.
I'm so boomer right now. I didn't realize what is Thought. Thought's a hot chick now,
Dude,
right?
Thought is even like 10 years old.
No, it
now.
means that
Huh?
hoe over there or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That hoe over
Oh,
there.
it's Andrew.
I remember.
It's so
So
funny if they reissued it and just took out the OUGH and just.
Well, there's so many times I'd
THOP.
hear a word, I gotta look it up. If I'm just like, dude, they're using like an acronym. I don't want to be like. I was like kind of at the age because, like you said, it was like 10 years ago. I didn't want to be like the boomer going like, oh, yeah, I thought things too. Like I didn't want to like walk into a thing.
You checking your spit?
Do you know that Peeling Flesh song, Intrusive Thoughts? That's a fucking awesome one.
dude, sick. Is that a CH
Yeah,
strip?
dude.
You doing
Are you
chemistry?
looking your read?
Oh yeah.
This is a read, bro.
Keep it
Dude, what's
going.
up, dude? Look at me.
Keep going.
I came through with the factual terminology, dude.
Reading my thoughts.
Please
Oh,
play that thing. I need
I'm
to
gonna
hear it.
try it.
silly,
Let's see what
dude.
happens.
Reading
I'm
my
so down
thoughts
for
could be
this.
something that a pimp says. You here to read my thoughts? dude?
Well, while
Speaking
while
of
we're
Pimp,
sitting
Miles
here-
Davis, I remember I watched an interview with Miles Davis. I had no idea that he was like an actual pimp.
Miles
Have you
Davis
seen that?
was an actual pimp.
Yeah, there's an interview with him I
I
saw like
believe
as
it.
a reel on a reel. He's like, yeah, just pimping hoes. Blah, blah. I was like, that's Miles Davis. What the fuck? I didn't know
Bro.
like bitches brew. Like I was like, oh, this is all kind of making sense
It
now.
all links up now.
Yeah.
Of course
right.
he is, dude.
All right, let's hear it.
Dude,
Got
Yeah,
some
it
air
works.
leakage.
Let's hear more. Keep going.
I found 2 notes so far. I'm gonna keep looking.
Go lower. Go lower.
Lower.
So-
Lower.
How low can you go?
Oh my god.
Opposite.
That is not lower.
I don't think that's lower, dude.
Please.
Yeah. So
Please.
I'm not pitch
So,
perfect, but
that was a rite of spring. No, anyway, there are these things that you press with your fingers, and they have pads underneath them, the like orange thing. And then this one is like missing the pad, so it doesn't form like a
seal.
seal exactly. So it needs that to be sealed down for the sound to get lower. So I don't know what the harmonics to these are, but at a certain point, I think if you're missing a couple of those, everything doesn't work. So
Yeah.
Right,
fuck
right.
around with mute
Sound like
for
a
little bit.
whammy pedal.
can you play some Dream
I'm playing it through the Gojira plugin. Actually, that's why I'm.
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah, pitch shift it down.
Whoops.
Yeah, pitch
All
shift
the way
it down.
down, dude.
Can you play some low notes on that thing? Like, can we hear some?
I'll try.
I think he gave us a pretty low note in the beginning.
Yeah, when like
Yeah,
try.
let's see. Let's
Lower.
try it again. One more. I think so cool.
Let's get the farty started.
I love it.
No, nothing else, dude. That's what you got.
The way that it just
That's
turned
cool.
into a breeze. Just a cool
I love it, dude.
whisper.
I swear, I used to play this thing. I was pretty good, man.
She's tired, dude.
It's a great register.
Well, when was the last time you played a wind instrument? Even sax?
With Diego and Casey.
Mhm.
Oh shit! So that's
That one
a few
time.
years
The
ago.
disgorged sex.
Yeah, I have the the tenor sax and the alto sax, and there's a trumpet over at my dad's. I think there's even a trombone over there. So if anyone wants to get together and jam, dude.
I'm just gonna say it, man.
Well-
but bass clarinet necrophagus cover when
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
I
rules,
know.
dude. Foul
That's
body
just-
autopsy.
that's an easy one, dude. That's a free throw.
Mm.
Yeah, dude.
What if I
Make
did
it
the whole
happen.
album, but I did it like as a real over your cover? Just
Dude,
play
that'd
along
be,
with you
I'd be
the whole
down
time?
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, I will relearn or learn any.
Oh, you
necrophagus
don't
song.
remember all of it the whole time? You never
Every single note in your head
you don't
right
remember
now.
the whole
It's
album?
gone, dude. It's gone. I even
Let's-
try and like brush it off.
Let's talk
every
about that
once
for a
in
little
while.
bit.
Yeah, we should.
Dude. Straight up, it's
Yeah, what's going on with Epitaph, dude? Do you like that record?
it's
Yeah.
fine. Whatever. I never really got the hype, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dude, legendary. I mean, it's one of the best records of all
Yeah,
time, right there.
Yeah, it is.
I remember,
turning point
Dude,
for a lot
I'm
of
all
us.
about Epitaph, dude. That's
You're to say that
everybody
again.
likes everybody likes Onset more. I like Epitaph more.
I'm in the same boat. I like Epitaph.
Oh, high five.
100%. High five.
I've never said I like
I
Onset
feel like
better.
people
I
like.
have
I think people like Epitaph more than Onset.
No,
I
I,
like Epitaph.
I have
was-
my connections with Onset because that was my first
Yeah.
introduction to Muhammad, and then the anticipation of Epitaph, and then the climax when you finally get it and listen to it. It was leaps and bounds greater of a listen than Onset for me, but I have the nostalgic connection with Onset
Yeah.
that'll never go away. And it's
Yeah.
still, that is great material, but the level up that happened with Epitaph, it was just untouchable at the
Sure.
time, dude.
And
Have you ran into people? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I totally understand. Like when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like the record that you start with
Mm-hmm.
it holds a special place.
Well-
It's like it just doesn't. You can't really rock that boat. You
and
know?
they're both
Yeah.
so good that I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, I
saying
know, it's-
Onset is
yeah, it's
good.
hard to
Like it's
compare.
fucking incredible. Like, and there's solos on Onset that are like is that
Yeah.
the best solo ever written? Like what?
Yeah.
Like what's the one? Ash or whatever. Is that on Onset?
That's on
Yeah,
Epitaph.
that's,
That's
on
on
Epitaph.
What's like the big solo on
Fermented
You're
It's a
off
thinking
fermental,
of,
fermented.
Fermented? Yeah. It's
Awful
just like
Discards.
yeah. But I was
What's
watching
the song
your
title.
last night, Sam. I was watching your entire video of
Oh
it.
yeah, when I had hair.
Well, over the last couple of days, but I was watching like the last like half of it,
Sure.
and I sent it to like Dan, original guitarist of ODS, and I was just like, "Have
Oh,
you
wow.
fucking seen this, dude?" Like, and I sent and Joel too. You were in that text, but Joel's seen it already, of course. But dude, like I was like listening to that song 7 and watching you play it, and I was like, dude, the solo in that song is
Yeah.
Mhm.
ridiculous,
It is.
and you nailed it so
Oh, thanks,
sick,
man.
dude. I was
I
just
don't. I
like,
still don't feel like
God.
it.
well,
I,
of course,
like
yeah,
I listen
you-
back, and
yeah.
first of all, I don't really listen back all that. It's not like I'm like watching and looking for errors or anything like that. But I have seen like a clip or two here or there, you know. And yeah, there's a couple bends and like tremolo dives and stuff that don't quite match. And I'm like, oh, dang it.
Well,
No,
we've talked about
what are
it
you
so many times on the show, dude. That if you didn't have that situation, would you want to continue trying to improve yourself? You need a little bit of this and that during putting an album out or watching yourself do a playthrough video.
yeah.
You gotta, you can't. It's hard to be 100% for yourself because we're, cliche, our own worst critics, and
Definitely. Yeah.
but that is what kind of keeps the drive to be that 1% better than you were last time you did something. you
Sure.
know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with that. And I'm not like bummed. I mean, I played the whole
No, I
album, I'm
know.
pretty psyched, but it's like, but it also took, by the way, an like stupid amount of time. Like it was a 2.5 year thing. Like I
Wow.
straight up started learning stab wound when I was 19, and I did not finish until I was 21. Like I had many
That's
false
awesome.
starts where I like
Yeah.
tried to
Yeah.
officially cover it, and I had all the cameras set up and I fired them up, and I just couldn't do it. And
Damn.
man, it was
You're a death metal monk, dude. You went up to
Interesting.
the highest mountains and you learn to meditate and stare at walls for two
I
and
just
a
got
half
it good
years.
enough, and then I was like, I can't anymore.
And then you left and you learned that you can actually like float for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd love
I
to see
have
the
mine.
compilations of you like learning it, you know, because you obviously, because the way you
Sure.
said you did it was just going like 1, 2, 3, like going like in order, like
Mhm.
learning this one, not moving on to the next one until this one's done, and just how many times you just were like, fucking fuck this guitar, like
Yeah.
how many times you like we're just like, because sometimes you're just like working on like a certain technique or sweep, and you're just like, I can't get it, dude. I need to go to bed. This is
You
stupid.
know what?
And then like next day, you're like, oh, it's easy. What the fuck
There-
is that? You know, like you kind of
There
get
was
your
a
sign
ton
of the mindset.
of I'm not ready for sure. I
Mhm.
mean, there was a lot of that. And that's why it took 2.5 years, because I just was constantly practicing it. But I had like a stupid, stubborn, I had to do it
Yeah.
that I don't
Yeah.
have as much anymore, by the way. It's like kind of taking a bit of a back seat. Like I used to be so like, I will stop at nothing to make this video happen. It's going to be the sickest. And it's the biggest challenge of my life, and I'm going to do it. And I did it. And that's, and I'm happy I did, of course. Obviously, I'm glad it's in the bank, but that drive is relocated to other things now, like playing in Fallujah, for example, going on tours. Now it's like doing albums live, which we just did. We just did The Flesh Prevails in full, which is kind of fun for me to like go like from doing it in a room for YouTube to now doing it like on stage with Fallujah has been kind of cool for me. But
it's actually the same almost a similar mindset that you would take.
Yeah, except now I have to do it. I don't have to do it once. I have to do it like whatever, 20, 30 times, however many dates, 29 times on the last tour. But it's different, and it's fun, and I love it, and I'm psyched. But yeah, it was always about like finding the biggest, craziest possible challenge I could throw at myself to make myself like, to force myself to be better as a guitar player. And
Have
I think
you found yourself? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say I don't know if it. I mean, I think it worked, but I don't know if it was the best way to go about it. I think probably, if I was to do it over again, I would like study a little bit more and like
But you
play with
learned
other
a lot.
musicians a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
learned a lot.
instead I just like, I'm gonna learn this album or these albums because I did, however many. I don't even know, 4 or 5, something like that.
Well,
do you
but you're still
find
in
yourself
your 20s,
like on the
dude.
road getting getting
go
getting
ahead.
like, so you're like, doing these Fallujah songs every night, and do you find yourself like, nailing it, 5 days in a row, and then you get a little comfortable and you fuck something up and you're like, shit, and then you kind of reassess everything? Is that ever
No,
happened to you?
actually,
Nice.
it's kind of more like there's definitely no reassessing. I love what I'm doing, and even when I have a bad show, it's like, who cares? I just had a blast, for the most part. I've had a few where I feel like god awful, but who doesn't? But
Yeah.
And most of the time on those nights, the crowd doesn't even know.
Nobody ever knows.
Thinking.
Nobody
They don't know. Yeah.
Nobody ever
They can
knows.
tell from your face.
Well, yes, that's right. So if you just stay confident.
Oh, sometimes they know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I'm talking specifically to like mistakes that only I would hear.
I'm just kidding.
Like nobody ever knows about those. But when you make like a real mistake, like sure, people will definitely hear that. And I've made my fair share, and
I'm just talking about the time that Joel train wrecked at the Cali Maryland.
No. Back to
once the
Anthony's
bass
point.
gets off,
to haunt us, dude.
No, Banthony. Back to Anthony's point. We literally train wrecked, and people were like, "No, dude, that was the sickest show. Fucking you guys train wrecked? You guys like people didn't even know we train wrecked." So I was like, so back to Sam's point.
I didn't sleep for like a week.
Dude, there you go. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
We didn't.
We made it apparent,
and we just moved on, and everybody was like, "All right." And then we
made it apparent with our faces. We're all staring back at Casey, like, "What the? Where are we? What the fuck's going on?" Like, that. Whenever you see that look on stage now, you're like, it's like a chalk scratching, nails on chalkboard kind of shit.
The bass got off. We had no choice,
dude. Well,
I was guitar at that show, by the way. Ivan was bass. Remember Ivan was doing like Ivan from Deeds of Flesh. He was doing like he couldn't hear He couldn't hear the bass. He's like, dude, after we already trained, he's like, I can't hear the bass, dude. And then Anthony walks up to him in the mic and goes like, dude, you're unplugged, dude. He pulled the
Oh my god!
at Maryland
that's-
Death Fest.
That's
I
an
forgot
actual
about
fear
that,
of mine.
dude. That's so fucking true, though.
There's a
I-
photo of him pointing at the cord. It's like one of those.
the
Like
best,
Ivan's got like a
dude.
curly cord going to his bass, so it like pulled out.
Oh,
And Anthony's
God.
like, he's all, dude, I can't. And after we were already like in, a state of kind of terror because we already train wrecked, and now his bass isn't working. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm trying to help him, and then he's all, dude, your fucking shit's on. He's like, oh shit, and plugs it in.
I forgot to
Dude,
fucking take the mic away too.
If you're really looking for it and watching me on stage, you'll probably be able to catch me doing my dummy checks, like
Yeah.
double check that my tuner's not on.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like checking the volume and tone, not like I'm constantly
'cause you've
doing
done
these
it.
little.
You've had it happen where something's not
It's
ready.
your car's.
not-
It's your
yeah.
your
You're
wallet.
like, never
and your
again,
keys.
never again, never again.
Yeah, yeah.
It keeps happening. You're like,
Wallet,
never
phone,
again, never
keys.
Yeah, yeah.
Also-
Checking for your
Earplugs.
wallet and keys before you leave the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, bands aren't train wrecking anymore because they're playing to clicks. So if one guy gets off, who cares?
Better
Everyone
knock
else
on
is like
wood, dude.
listening to the record, basically. So
Yeah.
True.
Speaking
Although
of
what it's
Gabe,
I will say, I don't know about everybody in the band, but I do have everybody in my ears like 100%. So it's
Mhm.
I'm over here, Scott's over here, Kyle's dead center, bass is dead center, and there's a kick, like the trigger is in my ears too. The track's in there, but it's quiet.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
is
it's,
Scott the lowest in your mix?
No, we're even.
Even
We try and keep it as even as possible. So I'm at any time if I want to start paying attention to Scott, I can, and I
I guess that
Can
makes
you
sense.
probably do the same for me. So
Can you explain it, like, because I've never had the opportunity to use in-ears because they were becoming kind of popular. They were kind of a thing as I stop touring. But I was listening to who was it on Slash talk about it. And I know it's not a death metal guy, but I was listening to him, like, obviously an old school guy talking about in-ears now. And he was on with Ola. He just did an Ola England interview.
oh
And
sure,
he was talking about in-ears. In-ears. Close.
yeah.
But he basically said, like, dude, like, they're great, but they sound like fucking dog shit. Like, I hate the way they sound. They're not anywhere near my tone, and I don't want to. And I'm bummed that I have to kind of take that hit in quality of sound just to know where I'm at. Especially with their music, obviously it's not like, oh shit, they're doing like 230, 16th. They're not doing anything crazy like that.
Mhm.
But like at the same time, I've never participated in the in-ear movement, so I was kind of like, do they sound like shit, or like, what do you think, like, as
I
far as, because
mean-
you're probably a little bit of a tone nerd and getting into your tone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are they just garbage in comparison to your actual tone coming out of your amp?
I mean, it's not going to sound like a cab. It's not going to sound. No, it's not great. It's fine.
But is it for
honestly,
you or is it for the crowd? The crowd
Oh,
hears
it's-
it differently than it's in his ears.
I know, but you kind of want to
to
like. But while Slash's argument was that I like to, when I play live, I want to have it sound good for myself too.
Mhm.
And the fact he was saying he was just bitching, he was kind of like old man bitching to Ola about it, which I totally understand. You're used to playing in front of like 10 Marshall stacks your whole life, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, throw these in-ears in, and then there's another mix of your guitar that comes in that sounds probably like like going direct
Yeah.
into a computer, but with like some
Mhm.
filters on it,
Mhm.
But yeah, I just wanted to know. I've never taken someone's in-ears and just like thrown them in. So with a
I'll tell you this:
quality-
I love them. I mean,
Okay.
I think they sound good. I don't think they sound like atrocious or anything like that. I mean, but the in-ears, these are mine. They're $80 Sures. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
They have like a mold on them to my ear. It's like a sleeve that
Oh, nice.
still it's like cheaper than getting the in-ear fitted.
Mhm.
This exact pair has gotten me through like I don't even know 7 or 8 tours and miscellaneous things,
Mhm.
and it's fine. It varies from room to room though, for sure. Like some rooms, even though the mix itself doesn't change, things change
Acoustics of the
somehow,
room, or
some way.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is different on every stage. I mean, you just kind of play it day
Yeah.
by day. Like,
Do you have any live sound
pile
coming
of
in
bodies will
to your-
change the sound for sure.
do I
do you
have
any
live sound coming?
in through the monitors as well as a backup, or do you do?
We've tried a few things. At one point we were doing this thing where like Scott's guitars would be in a monitor in front of me and my guitar
Okay.
would be in a monitor in front of him. we did that for a little boost in stage presence for the audience, but then we quickly found out that that means we can hear each other even better, and we feel a little less alone that way, like on stage sometimes. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like it's simple really. It's just sometimes the mix that you want isn't the mix that you're gonna get. You
So
can't
they've
always
never
go
died
in and
on you.
adjust it.
They never died on you on stage?
Nope. I've
Okay.
had
I've
had batteries start to die.
Okay.
And that's the body pack, not the ears themselves. And no, I've always been pretty lucky with these. Although on the last tour, I was experiencing like my cable would sometimes be just a little bit in the wrong position. And then my right ear, which is my guitar is in my right ear, would go out. Just coincidentally, that was the ear that would go out. And so now I'm stranded in a song, just waiting for a break where I can go back and fiddle with the cable and then hopefully fix it. That's not fun, but I don't know.
On the body pack, if the batteries are going, is it a quick switch out that you could do in between songs or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it quick enough. I always have like a spare pair just in case in a little box that I keep near me. And then unless we have some kind of gear failure like we did on the last tour, I'll always have a guitar cab behind me as well. And Scott has one too. But on this last tour, unfortunately, the preamp that we've been using with my Axe Effects to power the cab, or I'm sorry, the power amp, not the preamp. The power amp blew up for some reason. Not entirely sure why. So I was without a cab on that tour, which definitely changed things. Because when I have a cab, I can still rely on that, that stage volume and a little bit of saturation in my tone that mixes with the mix that I have in my ears and really helps boost my performance. I feel like
that was another thing I was thinking about today was the live sound, because obviously with all the in-ears, direct ends, guitars and bass, direct ends, and then you have just drums that are acoustically loud. So I always noticed certain bands obviously use all Kemper, all Fractal. They they have in-ears. So if you get too close, it's just all drums. It's like it's all you hear is drum. If you're like within the 3 or 4 people deep kind of area, it's just all drums, and like you can kind of hear some guitar over it. Has there like been any ideas with any of the bands like to get kind of like that push from the front that cabs will give you, but still have the in-ear thing?
Yeah, one of them was the monitors on stage, where Scott's in front of me in that monitor and I'm in front of him in that monitor over by him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That was kind of like for the front row people.
Yeah.
And I think it worked. I mean, it's hard for me to say because obviously I'm not able to go down into the audience and listen, but
and maybe there's also some vibration that you feel as a player when you have Scott in your monitor in front of you, and so although you're hearing him, you're actually feeling him in a small sense as well, which is
maybe. I mean,
natural.
I'll be honest, I never like looked for that, but I definitely heard him a lot more when I had him in a monitor in front of me. But we stopped doing that. We did it for a handful of dates just to kind of try it out, and I think it worked. I think it was all right, but I don't really remember why we stopped doing it. Maybe because we're just more used to doing it the way that we've always done it, which is doesn't include that.
I naturally started when I got older, just kind of gravitating around the mixing board.
Sure.
If I go to a venue, I'd end up being near the mixing board, just because I know whoever's doing sound that night, that's where the mix was,
the best.
Made. And even though people coming in, they kind of know how to work that into sound check, because once there's like I was saying earlier, a pile of bodies in one room, everything changes.
100%, dude.
Everything's bouncing off of everybody. So but just staying near the mixing board, as long as you're not crazy far away from the stage, it's actually a better listening experience for me.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, whoever you have at the booth matters too. I mean, so I mean, we've worked with a ton of different sound guys, and it's some incredible talent out there. But yeah, it's definitely like that's one of the big fail safes is if you have somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, and also what to do to to make you specifically sound the best. Because every band has, their own kind of get up and their own needs and wants and tones and samples and, so somebody has to be able to balance all that and has to know what they're doing. And so, shout out to Adam Skinner, who definitely knows what he's doing. And he was with us on the Flesh Prevails tour. Man, that guy is sick. So
yeah, I'd love to see the new talent coming out in that kind of, because back it was like Johnny Knobs, who's like Cannibal now, but he would like do our sound a bunch, and he would just do it so quickly, just be like bam, 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 get it done, and and people, you'd see the crowd. I've talked about it before, but you'd see the crowd visibly react differently than if you just had like you're a up and coming band, broke band, and you can't afford a sound guy. You'd see the kind of crowd standing there, and then like we'd have a sound guy and everyone would hear everything. But along with Anthony, kind of jumping on what Anthony said, like because I do the same thing, get near the sound booth. But one thing, like the old man thing, I like doing is like being in the sound booth, and then when I hear something kind of weird happen, I look over and I'm like, "What's going on over there? What are you guys doing?" It's kind of like but I'm not like saying anything to him.
Yeah.
I just want to see like what he's doing, and I'm like, dude, push that up, dude. We can't hear that solo over here. What are you fucking doing, dude?
Turn that
like,
knob,
it's kind of like me watching a football game of my team losing. What are you fucking doing, dude? Run the ball right there. I'm just like,
they are the unsung heroes of
100%
touring bands, though. Especially if you got a guy who, because he's just a part of the band as anybody else. To be a quality sound engineer on tour with a specific band, you need to know that band's live performance front to back. You need to know their songs front to back. They become a viable aspect of the live show that is Fallujah, is whatever other band that we're talking about that has that whole package when they go out on the road.
Same with like an LD a lot of the time. Like, I mean, we all have seen that video of Meshuggah's guy doing Bleed, and he's going crazy on the
the lights.
I mean, that's a performance.
He's another member, dude.
I mean, that's an extreme example, but it's for sure a thing. Like when we don't have an LD traveling with us, and we're working with somebody who's not familiar with the songs or anything, it's like, well, hopefully you're good at improvising and going with the flow here, because
be kind of cool. A few times with Steve from Faceless, like he was all about getting in front of the lights. Like when we'd show up to House of Blues, he'd be like all psyched and be like, "Dude, when we just fuck with the lights for a while." And then I'd be like, "Dude, let me do lights for you." And so I would do lights because I knew every fucking change of their Faceless. So I was like doing all their lights, and I remember I've talked about it a couple times, but he like I think I'm the only guy ever that was like, he was pointing at me, he's like, more light. Like he's like, it's instead of a monitor going like more monitors, he's like, dude, more light on me, you need more light. Yeah. And I was like, shit, dude, it's my first time, sorry. I'm like playing it like a keyboard. But so going back to that Meshuggah set that you're talking about, so some of that has to be, I mean, from what I'm seeing on the screen, is programmed, and then some of it is manual, correct?
Yeah. Well, so I'm not a lighting director by any means. I have very little experience programming lights, and I've only used like kind of basic equipment. So I'm sure that they have like a legitimate lighting rig. So I'm not. Yeah. I have no idea. But in my experience, what you do is you build kind of like scenes. So basically, like you'll program in like a red strobe at this rate, and it's going to flash like this. And then maybe you'll program a mover that has like a big beam, and you want it to move in like a circle like this, and it's kind of oscillating or whatever. So those are two different scenes, right? And then the actual performance by the lighting director is to cue those scenes at specific times. So tell the lights what to do, but go to these pre-programmed scenes. Pretty sure that's how it's done. I mean, that's how I did it when I programmed our lights, but I'm sure there are a bunch of different ways to do it that I'm not even remotely familiar with. But I would love to learn. So,
yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun to see like you creating the visual part of the show on, while the band's playing and stuff like that. But I was noticing, I've noticed some light guys that have it pre-programmed, that we're still playing to a click, but maybe something would be off or something, and they would kind of override and they would just like take over, like with their
Oh,
hands in
interesting.
the middle of it,
Oh,
while
okay.
the scene's like programmed too. And I'm like, those are the things I like nerd out on. That I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? Like, that's to
Yeah.
me, I get really interested in like, we've had ex guitar players that are. David, that's a jungle DJ. When I was like, "What the fuck?" I have no idea what that even is, And then he would bring me into his booth. I'm like, I was just inquisitive on how this all works, and then understanding what he's doing. I'm like, okay, that's fucking hard. Like you're matching up two different albums at the same time, and you're counting out the time signature with one hand while trying to line it up with the other one, and then switch
and
it
that's
over.
all in his ears while he's letting one play out before he mixes it over the other one.
We go to a show, and I couldn't even tell because I obviously wasn't very like into the music or anything, but like understanding like, and he would switch it over to the next one, and then the whole crowd would go, "Oh," and I'd be like, "All right, so it's the same song, but like a little different. What's going on?" I was very like a little boomery about it, just going like, "Fucking, I can't tell a difference," but the whole crowd could tell, and I was like,
Sure.
"Damn, okay," like counting out. Like he's actually counting out rhythms. He's not just he's not just going like, and he was just actually like counting.
I think he's
okay,
like a specific outlying example with Meshuggah, right? I mean, he's got to know those songs
in and out.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if he plays guitar or bass or drums and knows how to play those songs, and that's
could
how
fill in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least knows them well enough that he could do that. I mean,
have you ever
started? Have you ever had to learn them? So
try to play Meshuggah songs? Have you ever gotten into that? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So for me, is it so? I always ask people this that are playing. Like I think I've even asked Scott this, but I've never just fully understood like memorizing a Meshuggah song. Like so it's in I don't know. It's just a memorization of just the beat pattern under a 4/4, or is it just understanding? I just don't like. To me, it changes so much. Obviously, it's not like
all 4/4.
It's not riffing super hard, but it's 4/4. But there's like other time signatures under it, correct? And there's like, I don't know. To me, I just don't know how you memorize all that. It must just be listening to it constantly and then understanding like each kind of like, because the gent age was like kind of. I mean, it was newer for me when it came out, and I never really dove in super hard.
That was,
but I hear it, and I'm
though,
like, I mean, they always joke around that they started it, but
to me, it's
Frederick Thornton with all special defects.
It's always like a pattern over 4. So like once you crack the pattern and you just repeat that, it'll cycle through, and there you go. So it's like
all math, dude.
How many bars? The pattern will be multiple bars, though. It'll be like
but once you have that little chunk, you just keep repeating that chunk rhythmically in time.
Okay.
Usually, I mean, like the chunk in Bleed is just
oh yeah,
like that's easy enough, right?
They go down.
You got to get the and then yes, it goes. It changes then. But once you get that pattern, I mean, that's such an elementary. That's the easiest example because it's just a little guy. But if 100%. You do like
Clockworks or something, Clockworks.
So here's the thing, though, and I don't know if this is right or wrong because I have not really broken down songs post Koloss. I'm pretty sure that even though there are still patterns in there, I think the patterns become a little bit more coded. Like they're not. It's not like they're constantly trying to level up. I think, and that's one of the ways that they do it is like if you listen to "By the Ton" off of that record, Violent Sleep of Reason. There's a whole section in there that I'm pretty sure it's just like a rhythmic guitar solo, basically. It's like
it's like memorize this.
There it is. It's like it really does feel like that to me. I mean, I haven't again broken it down, so I could be completely wrong here. I mean, maybe there's a hidden pattern in there that I haven't found, but like listening to it for sure, it sounds like it's just constant whatever change. The guys felt grooved the hardest, which I think super sick. I mean, that's my shit right there. I'm a huge fan of that. Like anything
we've said it before and I'll say it again, dude. A Meshuggah concert is a very hypnotic situation. These repetitive, not repetitive, but like really sitting in a groove for a long period of time that is made for the listener to move in a certain way, even if it's just head banging to a straight groove, and that never stops, then it becomes this like cycle that you're in this mouse wheel that keeps going, and you keep running, and it's just this hypnotic thing that you kind of feel more than you hear.
Yeah, especially with
people around you are feeling it too, and everybody's kind of moving as one thing.
Yeah, it's kind of psychedelic. It's pretty psychedelic.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
I can see that. Well, Meshuggah is definitely one of the sickest bands of all time. I'm not gonna. I mean,
yeah,
they just are, and that concept of like taking a pattern and then putting it over 4, and it doesn't repeat until after 8 bars. Is I think we all take it for granted now. And again, like, I already dated myself. I was not around for anything really pre-Obzen. Like I wasn't sentient yet. I was a child. But but I'm pretty sure, I mean, I think I'm right in saying this. That is something we just take for granted now. But they changed the game with that shit for sure. I mean,
and they still reign supreme. There's not like a Meshuggah style band that just came out and just crushed Meshuggah. They like.
What album was Rational Gaze on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction. Right.
Yeah, my brother gave me Chaos Fear and Dillinger Escape Plan, the first Dillinger Escape Plan as 1-2 CD punch. He's like, hey, dude,
That's
like in like 99, 2000, something like that. Dude. He just handed that to me, and I was like, "What the fuck is this music?" I had no idea what I was listening to.
A little related, a little off topic. I also have a 2 CD punch story. I went to a CD store when I was, I must have been 13. Just picked up the guitar 2 years prior, and I bought
local CD store.
You know what? It was an FYE.
Okay.
For your entertainment,
you actually carried some good stuff back in the day.
Yeah, well,
they
that
had
was
a
kind of my only
record.
That was, I didn't have like a real local CD store. There was like a used CD store down the street, but it was like, it wasn't. There was no metal section. I think one time I found a Sepultura record in there.
Hey, that's a good find.
So which I think it was Roots, great record. Hey. So I was happy, but that was the heaviest I could find in that store. So FYE it was, and I would take my bike. I think it was like a 14 or 12 or 13, 14 mile bike ride to the FYE, and I made it like this kind of thing that I would do where I would ride all the way out there and just go crazy.
Pilgrimage of sorts
in the metal
That's
section.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so this particular day, I bought Ghost Reveries and Nocturnal. So Opeth and the Black Dahlia Murder.
Wow. That is definitely a 1-2 punch. Dude.
And so my only knowledge, and this is again bringing up my dad because he's the reason I'm doing any of this, really. I mean, ultimately, trace it back far enough. He had Sirius XM in his car. So liquid metal.
Yep.
So I was like, just picked up the guitar, and so I think he knew, and he would put on liquid metal. And but he was also into metal, so it was cool.
What did you when you came home with Ghost Reveries? Did your dad listen? And
well,
what was his thing with that?
Here's the funny thing about that. I had heard of Opeth because of liquid metal, but I think at the time Watershed was the record. So
okay.
In fact, I know it was 2008. Watershed came out, and this was around like 2009 or 10. So I'm sure that Heir Apparent or what's the really popular one? Not Hex Omega. Is it Hex Omega?
I thought Heir Apparent was.
It's the last song off of it. Maybe it is, or maybe it was Lotus Eater. It doesn't matter. At some point, we had heard a snippet of an Opeth song and thought, like, damn, this is pretty crazy. So I had gone to the FYE and I wanted to check out some Opeth. So I did. One way or another, also wound up picking up the Black Dahlia Murders record. And anyway, the Black Dahlia Murder to this day, I mean, one of my biggest influences growing up, and they're a Michigan band, and I knew that back then
that's
too.
right.
So.
Yeah.
Actually, I grew up right 15 minutes away from where they all grew up too. Waterford is where they're from. So
was maybe the Lotus Eater the song?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the one. Liquid is in your soul.
Yeah.
Burden is the one that has 14 million listens. I'm just looking on
Burden
on
is like the ballad. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Ricky, I think you're right. I think it was Grand Conjuration.
Oh, that's on.
I'm actually, dude.
That's
I'm
on.
Like certain that's off of Ghost Reveries.
Ghost Reveries, yeah.
But that song had to have been played on Liquid Metal at the time. I mean, that was, dude. Yes, you're 100% right. I remember. I remember hearing that for sure.
That song. Oh,
and you know how else I know it? It's because, and this is where I'm going with this. I thought that was super sick, and I loved it. And then I bought Ghost Reveries for that song. And dude, it's all coming back to me. And I went home and tried to listen to it, and as soon as in Ghost of Perdition it switched to clean vocals, there was like a disconnect in my brain, and I just couldn't fathom it. I was like, it sounds happy now, or like not metal. It's like just a weird, like I didn't understand it.
You weren't ready for the journey. Weren't ready for the journey of up and down.
Not yet.
No, he's saying he liked the extreme vocals, which actually is
it's a
minority thing on the show. Most people don't enjoy the extreme vocals, and the clean vocals is what kept them hanging on to finally get pushed over the edge into the extreme vocals.
Pretty sure I was the other way around from the start. I was fine with the screams, and the cleans were a little bit tough sometimes, but I think it was like Opeth cleans too. It just didn't sound like evil enough. You know, I really liked the evil, creepy harmonic minor sound that again, the Black Dahlia Murder had in every single second of that record, Nocturnal. So
totally.
You know, I latched right onto that, and but Ghost Reveries was hard. However,
when did it finally click with you, the clean vocals?
It didn't take that long. It was like probably the next couple times that I finally listened to it. But I think I first had to get into, what was it? It was Blackwater Park and Still Life.
Nice.
And I think Watershed at some point clicked for me too. But then Ghost Reveries came around for me. Ghost Reveries has a lot of like clean stuff on it.
Yeah, you know? I love it. It's probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
I do have a hot take. And take it. I'm not afraid to say it, but Heritage is one of my favorite albums of all time.
That's the first prog one, right? Yeah.
I think that is one of the
All right, Cal Death Podcast. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I'm just kidding. I like
Ricky in the chat. We're having more Opeth talk like his episode a few episodes ago.
Dude.
No, I actually I like it, and I don't, but when you get, it's kind of like one of those kind of bands that kind of gave you everything that you've never heard before, and then you have to kind of like go reverse into what their influences are and respect what their influences are, and then go to like what they actually want to play versus what you've heard and what they created for a long time. And like once you understand that, like I totally like all the new Opeth is great. I don't think there's anything bad about it at all. I at first, when it came out, I was like, why don't you change the band name, dude? Fuck, I was like one of those guys.
I remember that whole movement.
And I was basically just call it something different. Well, but then like you listen now, and obviously, at the ripe old age of 40 now. I keep wanting to throw that out. I just turned 40. Everyone, I'm old now.
Hey, happy birthday, dude!
Yeah, thank you, man. And Anthony's on his way too. He's gonna get there soon.
There it is.
No, but just when you don't care anymore, because I was the same way with Opeth. It was like I didn't like them for a long. I didn't ever give them a shot, but the growls shepherded me into the understanding the cleans and being okay with that. Like I needed actually, to be honest with you, the acoustic song on Blackwater Park, Harvest. To be honest with you, that was the song that actually made me go like, all right, I like the song.
Sure,
I'll try other, and then I was like, heard their growling, and obviously one of the best growlers of all time. Hearing his growls and shit, I'm just like, holy shit. And then go into clean after that, I was like, all right, well, I'm not into it yet, but I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you just growl and just go into a fucking angelic voice right after you just do
you have
the
an
gnarliest
iPod
growl.
like you had though. The iPod that you had with all the different genres of music that was like me. I was more a type of dude that I would follow if I had enough invested in a group, if they make a change like that, I still dive in because I respect and love the players, whether it be just one or more from the original lineup. I just like to follow a band through their whole timeline. And if they decide as artists they want to change, I'm going to give it the old college try and really listen to it and try and understand where and why they made this change. And it makes sense, dude. He's been telling us that this is going to happen for years.
He was like, I don't like growling anymore. I don't like doing the metal. Metal's dumb. Kind of. He was like saying he's very one of the most honest musicians ever.
He didn't abruptly just change it. It's been happening in the music for years, and you see it leaning that way more and more throughout the discography. So it's a natural transition for me.
Sure. I mean, it felt natural to me too. I mean, but I think that's just because they wanted to do it, and that came through in the album.
Didn't he say he's going to growl on the next one though?
No, he already did.
He did.
He already
did.
Song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm just as psyched now as I was for Heritage back then. I mean, for real, dude. Like,
here I am at bat for Opeth right now, and I didn't even fucking listen to the new record while I'm having this.
Bro, he said he's gonna growl, dude. I swear he said he's gonna growl, dude. And like a song's been there for like 3 weeks.
Dude,
he
just
growled.
hang on, dude. I promise you, if you get through the next 3 records, he's gonna growl. I promise. I remember. I mean, Heritage was like a game changer for me in a lot of ways because it was. I heard a band like take real risks. You know? And
totally.
not just risks like sonic risks, like we're gonna change up our sound, but more like song structure risks. I mean, listen to that song. I never knew how to pronounce it. Nefel, track 5. There's like so many weird dynamic twists and turns in that. Like, I still can't believe they made some of those decisions, and I'm sure that opened up, a sort of creative part of my brain in a way, like listening to that, because I was 15 when that came out, and it was the first Opeth record that came out where I was already following them.
Right.
So, man, I could talk forever about that record.
Oh, dude, and being that at that age too, I could see it totally makes sense that would be that important to you, because that's such a important age for things to get locked in for life.
Yeah.
Our some values, entertainment, like that's why we all are trying to show the newer generation our shit, and then everybody says, oh, the 90s acting sucked or blah 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 blah. They can't connect with it because they're making their own connections with the new things that are happening now.
Yeah, dude, Ricky, you're 100% right. It's Nepenthe. I'm ashamed.
Is it Nepenthe or Nepenthe?
Nepenthe, whatever it is. It's the one that I can't pronounce.
Nepenthe sounds cooler, dude.
I know it does.
Well, they're Europeans, so
totally.
Yeah,
you gotta make it. You gotta give it that.
Yeah, and shout out again to Ricky. This is I'm glad I listened to Opeth last night after a Ricky's episode. Opeth's been in the front of my brain, and I listened to them last night, and I just love them so much, dude. It's such good fucking music.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been excited for a record like I am the new Opeth record. I mean, because once again, they're doing this thing where they're changing their sound, but they're also taking huge risks in that first single. Like, that song is weird.
Totally.
It's something about weird shit, man. I just really fuck with hard. Like,
it's almost like a hybrid of like their old school and then their new style plus like another element too.
It's like Watershed and Heritage finally came together. Like
100%.
the creepy
It's the
dark
bridge
side of
between
both of
those
those
two.
records,
Yeah.
but the weird decision making of Heritage.
Well, I mean, it's funny we talk about this band who constantly is doing what they do because they want to do it and to be quiet and then come back and things to be weird on your first introduction to the world again. It still just reinvigorates me that they're still doing what they want to fucking do.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I feel like all artists just kind of have to do what they want to do if you're gonna put the best product forward,
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
it's
you're
for us
faking it.
first.
I
It's for
can't
us first, dude.
fake it, so I don't know about others. Maybe some folks can, put on a face and be like, "Hey, this sounds great," when really they're miserable about whatever song or album they're working on. But
true, I've
man,
never had that. I've never had that happen with me either. So it's but you could also look at it in a positive way that might be a bridge for them to finally get to a place where they could, expand artistically finally and not play shit that they don't want to play.
That's true, yeah.
But
Yeah, most
sometimes
definitely.
people get stuck in that loop the whole time and they end up, playing
Sam,
everybody else's shit that they don't like.
Sure.
What do you think? What do you think from because when I saw the album title and album cover released or whatever, the picture of it, I took it, and no one else has taken it this way, as their last album.
Oh man, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, what was it called? It was called like
it's called The Last Will and Testament,
which is makes me a little worried. I get a little worried, but I think that
could be that.
I mean, it could be. I'm just saying that was my
a specific person's last will and testament.
But that was my initial like unbiased, like just my take from it when I saw it. Which who gives a fuck about takes? But like that's just what I felt when I saw it. I was like, no. I felt that one of the first feelings I felt was no. I was like, no. Like I was like
really?
seeing like like when you see the R.I.P. this guy or something, you're like, oh. I kind of felt like that with that. And
how many times did you feel that with Ozzy and touring though? Oh, he's not going to tour anymore, and then he comes back.
True.
Oh, he's not going to tour anymore, dude. Black Sabbath back.
I guess I could see it going that way, but I also feel like if you're going to name your album The Last Will and Testament and have it be your last album, you would also mention that it's going to be your last album.
Yeah.
Like at least that's me clinging to hope that it's not their last album.
Yeah.
I think it's just.
If they have to be done, then they're done.
I just know Martin.
Sure,
I don't know Martin, but
concept.
But Martin's style of just being honest, of like, fuck it, like kind of like, I don't like this anymore. He's very, when he's feeling his feels, he's very honest about it. Usually, he's just like, you can kind of tell he'd be the kind of guy just like, I need to go do something else. I could see him just jumping. I could see this being their most successful record, and I could see him just bailing. I could see him just being like, I'm gonna go do what I want to do, kind of guy.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
You never know.
Yeah,
time will tell. He has been doing it for
not trying to put that on them.
So hopefully he will keep doing it another 30 years of Opeth. 30 more years.
Yeah.
Totally. I need more.
Rock and roll seems to go later in life now for the artists. I mean, Rolling Stones they're touring right now, right? They got to be in their 80s.
Oh yeah, those guys are.
Ozzy, I just mentioned him. I think that if that's the case for those guys, I think we're gonna have Opeth for quite some time, dude. I think that we'll be in our 50s having these same conversations.
I would love
going back 20 more years down the road and still getting Opeth albums.
Dude, yeah. I mean, fingers crossed, because I would love 100 more years of Opeth for real. That would be amazing.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm psyched. That weird shit speaks to me in a way that just like nothing else really does.
So to me, Opeth isn't that weird. So what is your definition of weird?
Oh, well, specifically, I'm talking about like Heritage being a weird record, like the songs
just out of place for them.
It's more experimental. Like they're just trying different things, and it's coming across like a little bit. I don't know. It's so unique. I mean, I say weird. Maybe weird is like the wrong word, but it's so uniquely new and different that it stands out to me. That's my qualifier. That's kind of all it takes. So like another band that did that for me once was Imperial Triumphant.
Nice.
So like Vile Luxury and Alphaville. I heard those records and I was like, what in the goddamn hell is going on, dude? This is
Q Anthony.
Yeah,
so weird.
When you did that, I just took a deep breath because this is my lane on this show.
There you go.
We had Steve, the bass player, on not too long ago. Steve
Sick.
Blanco, yeah, and great dude. Very, very interesting, unique, out of every other realm that you could think of band. You know, it's their own thing. And the whole package. When you go see them live, it's the whole thing. And just being reminded that new ideas can be injected into extreme metal, and being a somewhat egotistical death metal dude for half my life, and then coming across innovative drumming that is outside of every other thing that I've listened to in extreme metal, that those types of things happen with that band. That band, and you can understand on a deeper level like what they're talking about, and their music video, everything. It's the whole package, dude. So yeah, sorry. Imperial
no, dude, those guys are
just because you talk about weird, and that's the reason why I asked you that question, because my definition of weird might be, it's obviously different for everybody else.
Sure.
Because of how much I've exposed myself to in the realms of what I consider weird, and taking jazz and throwing it through a death metal prism and seeing what comes out on the other side, and
a dissonant death metal prism,
right, dude.
Like, not just death metal, it's dissonant death.
Yeah.
So wild. And it's not like a crazy idea, but their execution is actually like really, really good and tangible. But it's not just that, it's also the aesthetic that they build into it too. Like the sweltering divide between, the impoverished and the ultra wealthy,
right
in like New York.
And New York City is the perfect
that's
place.
weird, dude, and it's sick. It's
them showing their true experience with their external reality, dude.
It's like new school Sepultura.
Sepultura happening around
Sao Paulo
them, dude.
Sao Paulo was like ultra rich and then ultra poor. That's what they
a
lot of their
and
old,
being
old stuff was
exposed
talking about
to black metal for so long, and the motifs and concepts that happen in that genre are fairly similar, where they're using Satan as a catapult of whatever thing they want to say through the veil of Satanism. And then I think about black metal being evil, right? And so there's this giant population of black metal bands that kind of use the same small blueprints for conveying their evilness. And then you got Imperial Triumphant, who is not only, like I said, using their experiences with their external reality, but finding the evils in that, and then using that as, because luxury and vanity, these are all sins, greed, and so they're just kind of, in my perspective, looking at that band. I didn't even ask Steve, or I might have brought that up on the show, but it's their interpretation is totally different from mine. But what I see from their imagery and the music and what they're talking about, I think that they're just finding a specific area of the seven sins that hasn't really been utilized in black metal. You know?
It's definitely one of their, I mean, whatever it is, they're tapped into it in a way that other folks just aren't. They have like such a clear kind of vision. I feel
very artistic, very.
And I do want to say though, when I say weird, I don't mean that in any kind of a negative way. It's just like kind of the word.
And I didn't. When I hear the word weird, it makes me excited. When I hear the word weird, it makes me excited. So I just wanted to know what your interpretation of weird and how you were using that word about Opeth, and you were basically using it within how much Opeth you had experienced up to that point, and then it was this weird version of Opeth after that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think weird to me is just like It's anything that somebody's doing that definitely hasn't been done, or it's being done in a very unique way, but also it has to have some kind of a creepy or shiver-inducing or otherwise emotional aspect to it, like it connects emotionally. I think that's a big part of it too, is like it has to give you the ooh kind of face, the stank
Totally.
face.
And
So
we talk about
great for
tension
that.
and release too, and the percentage of tension in a song versus release, and how you play with that as the creator of the song to hopefully get that response from your listener. Tension is something that can make involuntary emotions happen, and that's all the shit. I'm looking for that in music now.
Yeah, same here.
At my age, dude, I want to be taken on a ride when I listen to things that are new to me,
Yeah. I'm definitely a like an avid disliker of anything that's just the same thing done again, It's just not for me personally. I think like it doesn't really do much for me. So
there's a lot of Black Dahlia clones out there. I just go back to Nocturnal.
Yo, there's a sick one called Carnosis though that everybody should check out. Yeah, I mean they have a record called oh my god, I forget what it's called. It's their third record. Album. It's got like a crazy fountain on the front. Great album.
I wanted to boomer you so hard. Like I wanted to do the old man thing. Because you said like I got these two albums. I got Ghost Reveries and I got Nocturnal. I was like, well, back in my day, me and Casey toured on the first Nocturnal tour with Black Dahlia Murder.
Dude, so sick.
And I'm like, dude, back in my day, back in my day,
I saw him on the Unhollowed tour at the Pound in 2002.
I wish I would have caught them live. The first and only time technically when I was 12 or 13 probably, I saw them at Mayhem Fest, but I didn't see a ton. I remember I was like in the back of the standing outdoor area, right? And I didn't know it at the time because I was 13, but I was in the pit before they came on, and then as soon as they started, just this chaos just erupted around me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh shit, getting the fuck out of here!" And I know
a lot of kids Did you do the Homer into the bushes situation?
Basically, yeah, into the people behind me,
but it's people instead of a bush.
100%. So I missed a lot of their set, but so that was the closest I ever came to seeing them before 2023 when I saw them. So last year, in Boston before I moved. Sick show. They brought the Statutory Ape back, which
dang,
man, so cool. They had a dude running out in the ape suit and everything. Great.
Yeah, we've seen them perform in all Hawaiian. They probably had some flip flops. What up? Shorts and Hawaiian shirts, and they threw beach balls into the crowd. We're at the Pound. It's only like 200 people or whatever that could fit in there. Just
such a vibe, man.
They brought a vibe. That's what it was, dude. It was totally.
It's like an instant connection with the audience.
We're here to have a good time. We're here to have a good time, and also enjoy. Like, it's all about getting your shit out. It's a therapy, and it becomes a group therapy in those small venues where the sound's great, and you got the energy of the band, and not only that, you got the little bonus where now there's a game. Everybody's popping beach balls around the room.
Vibe.
The
I think
time,
that's the vibe to me. Their vibe was you
got your half beer in your hand, somebody knocks it out of your hand, and you're like, fuck it, dude, give me that beach ball.
That's like it's underlying comedy and fun mixed with like serious metal. Like I think that was their vibe. That's like
they're super tight and really good.
They were super tight, nailing it, man. Like just fucking.
Shout out to Skinless too. They also had the comedy vibe, dude. They would have people come up on stage and get fucking wrestling moves done on them and shit on stage.
That's a lot of fun, dude.
And sure would jump off of like speakers into the crowd and shit, and everybody had the jokes in between. It's just like, yeah, dude, this is a whole thing. It's not just we're here to listen to music. It's an
extreme music.
It's our own little bubble of let's have a fucking good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're smiling to the most. Like if you were to show this kind of music to like someone that's not into it at all, like they would be like, ugh. But like we're all sitting there just like, all right, we love the music. That's out of the way. and then you make us like laugh and like smile during that kind of music. Like that's the kind of vibe that I mean, Cephalic Carnage, a bunch of these bands brought it like early on, but I would say that but Black Dahlia brought the party like a Motley Crue party thing, but it was like funnier and it wasn't as serious, and it had like the seriousness in the music. So you'd be like, okay, well it's funny, but you guys are crushing it. All right, so how does my brain like put all these two like things together? You know,
Steve Goldberg just posted a thing today of Lenzig with a pizza suit on. He had a giant pepperoni pizza suit, and actually had the pepperoni pizza like head. He was like 3 slices of pizza basically. Pizza. 2 giant slices covering his front and his back, and then his head was a slice too. And he's on stage with fucking.
They're the funniest to me. I can't handle it. Like,
dude,
Lenzig's the funniest human. Like, that's because I love the. Speaking of taking risks, like the shit he'll do. Like, well, I mean, I've known them for so many years, but like, as far as like they go on Summer Slaughter or something, and they'd be like, they would just like have these random chants that didn't make any sense, and I would just be sitting there crying, laughing, and then like they would do the Wall of Death because I'm this is. I keep saying boomer, but old 40-year-old Joel. I'm like, Dan Kenny. I talked to Dan Kenny the other night for like 3 hours, and I was like, dude, stop doing the fucking Wall of Death. That stuff sucks. I don't like that. I was getting all mad. I'm like, that's like an easy out to like moshing, dude. Just have them do it on their own. I don't know if you guys do it, and I apologize if you do.
Oh, we don't. But okay, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Easier said than done to get somebody to get a room to do a Wall of Death.
Well, if you're an
big deaths, then
if you're a small band and you can get that to happen, like you're not like a big like a band like has a following, like a huge following.
Big bands. Sometimes
have you seen failed Walls of Death?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, this is my time. I'd like to hear this.
I don't have exact.
I love that.
You have to tell me the band names and you tell me the dates and locations and YouTube videos, dude.
Do you want my social security number too? Because I don't even know what that is.
Joel didn't say it, but I just want to, because I know where he was going with his story. Is you were talking about Lenzig and coming up with all the
like 20 rules for the Wall of Death.
How all the bands do the Wall of Death, and they have rules before it starts. Like you got to do this at this point, at this time, and blah 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 blah. And so Lenzig decides he's going to make it the most complicated setup where he's got multiple rules that make no sense to where everybody's
and there's
going to be
no way it's going to work.
And then hit them at a time that they don't realize that it's coming.
And then people just start moshing.
And it's for them on stage to watch how fucking retarded or the crowd's going to be during that time, dude.
Yeah.
Just confused. It's like confused. Like they're like, wait a minute. What? They're like, all right. So like he's if I say and, then you have to like lift your left hand and like go in sideways and like. But if I say like he'll like throw these like I forget what he did, but I was sitting there just crying, laughing at like because every time I see Suicide Silence, like every time I see him, they're like it's just all right, end the show, and then everyone does it, and then I'm like, I mean, fucking dance.
Essentially, all right. The last,
but they want to sell merch, though. I get they want an experience from the crowd, and a lot of the crowd actually wants that now. And then that's where I'm like the old man, so I'm like shitting on myself a little bit. Where I'm like, I'm out of the times a little bit with that, and I don't like. I've back in the day when I like saw like there's bands that used to do it without asking, and that's where I was like, Gojira's done it without asking, where they just like. Fucking play, and people would like know the part of the song and they would do it on their own, and I was that's badass.
Those are some of the funnest shows I've ever played, is when folks in the audience are like synchronized doing stuff. Like
100%.
I remember being in Michigan, teenage years, whatever. I'm going to shows with my friends. We would all do like stupid shit, like we'd like lock arms and like dance around,
done all that,
dumb and stuff.
Totally.
But like recently, we had a pit where people were. I think it was Vulvadinia's pit where people were doing push-ups, and I've seen videos of people doing it, but I'd never seen it in person. I'd never seen it at a show, and there it was, and I was like, dude, so much fun. And then people like at one point we had a group of like 5 guys with arms around each other, and they're all just like head banging in a giant line.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Those are
we
awesome.
We're not asking people to do that shit. Like, it just happens. And
Yeah, when
no
it happens organically, you're just like,
Yeah.
fuck.
What's so
yeah.
funny is that Cynic's version is that is Paul making you do yoga. Like,
dude, that's sick. He does that.
Those. Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if he
dude.
still does it, but he did it back in that one tour we saw.
Wow.
When they did
Devin
Wow.
the
Townsend,
first
Cynic.
run of Focus all the way through with a few, because I don't know if Trace and Air was even out yet during that tour. I might be wrong. No, it
No, I
had
think
to
it
be
had come
because
out.
he
It came out.
encore or not encore, but the
No, I
rest
think
of the set
Meshuggah
was
Meshuggah was the
Retrace.
headliner. Meshuggah
Yeah,
was
so-
the headliner. So it
So
was
Trace
like,
was out,
and he had everyone
Retrace just came
doing
out.
fucking yoga, and then like Meshuggah
in the
came on.
crowd at Slim's, dude. All the people in Slim's doing yoga at a metal show.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
everyone,
Which
was doing
actually is like to get ready for a rhythmic headbanging like
Yeah.
situation of Meshuggah. It's almost probably not even planned, but works perfectly to get all stretched out before you do that.
it. Totally, 100%.
Dude, yeah. I mean, what a sick thing to do. I mean, what I was
Yeah.
gonna say gimmick, but that's underselling it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
it is.
all
push-ups
it's
in
an
the pit-
angle.
Push-ups in the pit is just more testosterone. You need to tone it back and get more zen.
Yeah,
at
but
a
it, like-
show, and but you're still
it's
exercising.
like the
dude,
rowing.
by
It's
doing
the Amon
yoga.
Amarth
Rowing,
rowing kind of a little
yes.
bit, you know.
I
And then there's
love
that
the
one
row.
band that like puts their back on the ground and everyone like puts their leg in the air. It's a Japanese band.
Oh,
They like
God, I
they
haven't
shake
seen
their.
that.
It's a grind band that like everyone. It's called the Cockroach, and everyone lays on their back and like moves their legs up in the air. I'm sure
Dude,
someone in the chat knows,
Cattle
but
should
like
do that for sure.
Dude, it's so funny that it's called death metal, but movement is what's going to keep you alive the longest. So it's secretly teaching you to live.
Yeah. Wow. And there it
Teaching
is.
you to live and live long, dude.
Death
like
metal is
let's-
secretly life metal, dude.
it
yeah,
really
it's life.
is.
I know it's disguised. We got you.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's the
Like,
Scooby Doo
fuck.
moment, dude. We just had our
Yeah.
Scooby Doo moment.
Just take off the mask. We're like, got you.
100%. Gotcha. Let's see who's really under that mask.
All right.
Paul Masvidal.
Dude, all right. We need to rewind a little bit, Sam, because I want to know
Sure,
about I want to know about when you started playing music with other people.
Oh, sure.
That's another question that I like to ask everybody because at some point in adolescence you came across another dude who was into the same shit, which by the way, we like to hear about the homies back then too.
Yeah.
Who were the guys that you ran into that were on that same metal path?
Great question. I mean, I definitely was in bands growing up from like as soon as I picked up the guitar. In fact, my first like time ever really holding a guitar was at like a summer camp where one of the other campers had a guitar, and I remember he was like showing me how to play. And so right there, it's like we're like I guess it's not exactly the same. We're not like playing together, but it was always people were involved, right?
Yeah.
But then I started playing in bands probably when I was 13 or 14.
Oh damn.
Do you
Just
remember
General
the first
bands
band?
around town. First like band that wasn't structured like part of a program or part of a school or
where you went to somebody's garage or some shit.
Yeah. I remember that band. And I was only in it for a really just a split second. I think it was called Antivorta in Michigan. It was a very, I don't think anything happened with it. And I think, it was just like a quick thing. I think we did one rehearsal together, and then I was 16 and dumb. And
Was it original or just covers?
it was, but I didn't write any of it. I learned the songs
just
that
learned it.
their frontman had written, and then I just kind of fell out of it. I mean, truth be told, I think that's the only band to this day that I've ever been officially kicked out of. But I was kicked out of
That's a fun-
Antivorta back in the day,
Yeah,
focusing
you
on my
showed them.
ACTs.
there you go.
God damn it. I couldn't make rehearsals enough. And so they were like, listen, they were all older guys. And I was like trying to get into college and shit. That was
Right.
dumb. What
Which-
was I
yeah.
thinking? But at any rate, from there, I went to college. So, didn't do much with others.
Did you take
for a
music
little
in
while.
college?
No.
No.
No, I
Let's
studied
guess
engineering.
let's guess his major.
Oh, wait, you can guess what kind. You can guess what kind.
Mechanical.
No. Yes. You nailed it.
Yes?
Yeah.
Nailed it?
You got it.
Fuck
yeah, you got it. First try. What gave it away?
You seem very
Is it
calculated.
my social skills, my demeanor? Because
No. You
so
seem you have a very good. No, you're very. To be honest with you, I mean, it's mechanical. It's not mechanical. Sorry, it's mechanical in the way that you understand. Like, because on podcasts sometimes we're talking to people, and we stop talking about something, and you elaborate. You start going into things
sure.
more. We're even asking it, but we appreciate it because we were like kind of at a loss, and you keep going because you're like analyzing the whole situation. And I just figured like you're very
so mechanical is like the umbrella of what though? Like, is it the same as like I think of mechanical, and because I'm an automotive guy.
That's a part of it. I didn't take it very far. In fact, I didn't take it anywhere. I got the degree, but I didn't. Like halfway through, it was earlier than that even. I knew it wasn't for me, but my
was it too late halfway through? Was it too late halfway through to like change?
I could
money spent and stuff. Like you're like, fuck.
It was more like the credits. Like I would have been in school for 7 years. I was like, fuck. It's so specialized. Like, and I mean, I could have switched into like electrical engineering or software engineering and probably only spent another 2 semesters or a semester. Honestly, I wish I would have done that because that would have been way more valuable to me now than mechanical engineering is. But what I really wanted at the time was I needed to change. I was not in engineering. I was thinking graphic design for a little while.
Yeah.
I was thinking math for a little while too, because that was my favorite part of engineering was the math.
Whoa.
I'm not great at math, by the way. I just like it.
There's certain aspects of math that I can probably be into, but like taking a math class just sounds like the worst part of school.
I took so much more
interested in math.
Looking back,
like I'm so much more interested in math now as I'm like getting older than I was at the time when I had to like make that choice, because at the time, like I usually just didn't pay attention or didn't care. I was like, couldn't relate it to anything. So, that's why a lot of people go like, teach people how to do their taxes or, in school rather than these equations honestly, that you won't really. Yeah.
I could have used that a lot more than the math 100%. Classes that I took, but I'm fascinated by math. I think math is sick. Dude, I like that it makes sense and there's an answer, I like
then you get weird and you get into like sacred geometry and shit, and that's just this whole deep fucking thing that I touch the surface
like
of
faith
it, and I'm
math.
like, oh dude, you guys are crazy down there, dude. I don't know if I could dive into this pond.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's crazy people. I mean,
they're crazy smart.
Again,
smart crazy people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just scratched the surface of that stuff, really.
I couldn't even
took the classes. I got the degree, but again, like halfway through, I decided it wasn't. I mean, I just knew. I mean, I could feel it, but I couldn't do it anymore with the intent of like moving into a career as an engineer. And honestly, I would do it a lot different now. Like a lot different. Like I would have probably. I don't fucking know what I would have done.
We all have those, though.
If you knew like exactly. So here's what I did. Right, I just put way more time into playing guitar and making YouTube videos while going to school. And a big reason I didn't just start a band or play in a band is because the school I went to in Michigan was kind of like remote. It was not in a big town. The metal scene was just other metalheads that went to the school, and it wasn't a lot. And no metal shows, no shows at all. We had like a, crazy dive club that was just there because the college was there, and we had a casino. Not great. Shit. So yeah, so everything about it was not my favorite thing. So instead, I just like devoted all of my, I mean, without sacrificing going to classes as much. And I skipped a few classes, but I still finished my classes, did the work and projects, and was present. But every other chance I had, I was just making music. So I started writing. That was when I really started to write. And then I started doing those full album covers where I would really push myself. And I built my YouTube channel up a little bit and all that good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I graduate and move back home, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? This is awful. I hate the thought of being an engineer. I just don't want to do this at all. And all I wanted to do was music. But I thought, okay, well, what's something I could do right away to like earn some money? So I got a job, just basically like an internship doing video editing for an ad agency because I had learned how to edit videos doing all my YouTube channel stuff. So I actually used my YouTube channel as a resume. I walked into an ad agency and I was like, hey,
damn,
that's can crazy. I do something? And
that's big, like your actual experience over your college, experience with people in the hiring field now. Yeah, I'll interview people now for like IT and stuff, and I'll like see like, sick, dude, you have like 90 certifications. That's cool. So do you know how to do any of this shit like in real life, or do you just like pass the test? Like you need to like put like you actually doing it yourself, and you can show them this is what I've done, and then it's like boom, they'll take that as like experience.
Yeah, I learned a lot about editing there and animating, and then they had like a recording booth. Like on site, so I started doing voiceovers,
nice.
and I started doing, I mean, just light stuff, like not big. And for a minute, there was one project where I was doing like the voice and the animation, and I was getting all this different like creative kind of input and stuff, but it still wasn't music, and so I still wasn't like fulfilling the creative music part. So I had written a lot of music, and I had put out a few EPs in college that just went nowhere because I didn't know how to promote worth a goddamn at all. Still learning, but
you gotta open up and give us one project with the voiceover thing, dude. You said you were doing voiceover. Is there anything that people would see where you did the voice of something?
I think it was like a private thing. It was like for a thing for a client that never went.
You were part of a pitch of something.
You know what it was? If I remember correctly, it was for a pitch to a prospective client. So it was like, here's some of the work that we can do for you.
Totally.
So it was like something that never. So I have no access to any of that. But just close your eyes and listen to me in this podcast and just pretend.
No, you have a smooth voice, dog.
Dude. Yeah. Fun fact: I was hired by NPR to.
You have an NPR voice.
A jazz and blues, like a 4-hour show.
I could listen to you talk about jazz for 4 hours, dude. Definitely.
I mean, I'd be down. I would basically like pick records off a shelf, drop the needle, and then host the show, right?
Dude, your voice
that
is
sort of thing.
For that.
But I turned it down because it was right in my junior year of college, and it was like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So, and I had like 8 a.m.s.
Oh, you would be live doing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, there's no way that I can pull this off. And
dude, your smooth jazz voice going like, all right, this is Corpse with Strip Bait and Trimble. Hope you guys can
next fermented awful discharge. Yeah. That'd be amazing. To death metal, the Sam Hour.
You better get your gauze ready because we're coming here with Stab Wound.
Stab Wound. Yeah. So turn that down. That's my fun radio thing. Another reason I turned it down is because I was terrified I was going to say fuck on the air and get fined. Like that was a legitimate concern of mine.
Damn.
It's like, well, I have all these 8 a.m.s. My schedule would be absolutely insane. And if I said fuck on the air,
you're
it would be like
immediately
a
done.
real problem.
Because everybody's trying to vibe out.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, old lady trying to vibe out because she can't fall asleep because menopause is keeping her up, dude.
Basically, yeah. And now she's got to deal with this
zen out, and then
guy.
You actually say fuck, and then she's immediately calling, and she's gonna Karen out. I'm trying to fall back asleep, and I just heard the word fuck on your program.
Yeah,
I can't let you get away with this.
Yeah. Well, I would probably have gotten into some trouble, and so I just decided it wasn't for me. But
Well,
I
it's
didn't
also
try
like a
it out.
fallback. You have a lot of fallbacks. You know, you have the mechanical engineering, you have the editing stuff. You know, you're doing the band stuff.
I've forgotten all the engineering stuff. You know,
I
would
mean, you
have
got
to
it
like
on. I mean, you could
retake.
still. That's gonna be fucking thick on your resume. Just be like,
I have the piece of
yeah, I have
paper.
mechanical engineering. If you ever have to get a job, just like a legit job, when you're like, if let's say like you're not doing touring anymore, you're just like, I have to get like a fucking, I have to do this lifestyle now. That thing would just be fucking like mechanical
massive,
fucking
like,
engineering, bitch.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
Kind of moment,
I'm here.
right?
I'm here.
Slam
What's
the
going
resume
on?
down. What do you think of that shit right there?
Just check that out. Let's talk later.
Yeah.
Steve.
Give me,
No,
give me a buzz. Why don't you give me a
Give me a
ring,
buzz.
dude, bucko?
So it was the college station that you would have been doing that at, or is
It
just-
was based on the university campus, yeah. But I think it was like affiliated with the university, but it was like genuinely NPR ran it.
crazy?
So, yeah, I think.
Damn.
I mean, I don't remember.
That's not
Well,
a
you
successful
turned
career
down
to get
go
into,
for the
though.
wake.
Probably not.
I mean, a lot of radio's been pretty much purchased up by iHeartRadio. I think they went around and bought the most like lucrative radio stations across the United States, and they're just like, yeah, they're like completely just dominated by like the
I actually
kind of
didn't know that.
yeah,
Good for them.
yeah. It's just, I
Good
mean,
for
because
them.
radio's been struggling so hard because of just like any Jack and Jill can come on here and make a podcast, you know, and a lot of people are famous and, you know, like comedians and stuff, or people that have just, you know, celebrities, and they could just go like, I want to talk, and people are like, I want to hear what they want to say. I don't want to go through the radio and all the ads. I'll just go here and listen to it.
Sure.
And it's kind of been just like it totally wiped out radio. You know, radio's
it's like
why
would you watch cable TV when you can do anything
just
else?
watch the thing. Just watch it with no commercials, or just watch the highlights, or just be like,
Right.
all right, I know what that's all about. All right, let's just get.
Right.
You didn't have to like sit there and like fucking. All right, it's like 5 minutes till the show starts. Let's just hang out and get some food, or you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like you just get to the point now. It's So it's been wiped out pretty much.
Pretty much. So
Yeah.
didn't do that. Didn't do engineering. Did a little bit of video. Wound up freelancing a bit because the pandemic hit, and I also served at a restaurant for a little while and did like little, you know, stuff like that.
Claim
2
jumper?
summers of busing, and then 1 summer of serving, or winter, or it's like a month, and I was like, this is fucking terrible, and I kept getting sick. It was in January 2020, and I kept getting sick at the restaurant, and I quit. And then the pandemic happened. I was like, oh, I probably had,
that's what
you
it
know,
was.
like COVID or whatever.
You had it before you even knew about it, dude.
Before we knew about it. But who knows? But anyways, so then the pandemic hit, and I was like, man, this is not going well. This sucks. So
Yeah.
I'm going to,
100%.
I have to commit to doing music, or I'm going to go insane. Like, I'm not going to live the life that I want to live, you know? So anyway,
real quick, I just want to make a comment on, I don't know if you're actually feeling this way, but just because you went to school for something and you got through the whole process and you didn't use it to do anything, that doesn't mean that experience didn't teach you something.
Oh, no, I fully agree with you.
You put yourself through something long enough to realize that for sure, this is what I can't see myself doing without being unhappy. So I've realized the path that I need to actually pursue for happiness, you know?
Definitely, man. I mean, I wouldn't be here, you know, doing tours, you know, working on records, like
talking
none of
to
this
us right
stuff
now
would be happening, at least not in this way. And I'm pretty psyched on the way that it's going so far, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of count myself pretty lucky. So
talk about how the pandemic like made you, well, actually, obviously it opened up the boundaries for you to dive into it and have a lot more time than most people had, you know? But how did you,
it was the time
make
and
income
it was
during it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
How'd you make income during the pandemic?
I freelanced as much as I could, video editing. I was really lucky that I was a part of a couple of like graphic design projects that kept me going at the time too.
Okay.
And I blew through my savings.
Yeah.
So, and I sold a lot of guitars and gear, and
You gotta fucking make it work, dude.
and then I moved to North Carolina. That was a really big part of it because I moved in with a buddy of mine who he had a mortgage and a house, and it was the cheapest rent you could find anywhere. It was
Yeah.
like ridiculously
400.
affordable, so
Okay.
affordable. So I just leveraged every single opportunity I possibly could to stay afloat while I did the music thing as much as I could at the same time. And then I also started a band and worked on my solo material, and all of these things just kept on going. Yeah, I had an OnlyFans. That's the truth.
Is it really?
Yeah, my Only Sam's account.
Only
shit.
Sam's.
I was thinking it'd be really funny. Nobody could steal this idea. This is my idea. Nobody.
Yeah.
You're all
Copywritten.
signing NDAs.
As far as
Is
this
it
episode's over, it's already...
ASMR? Is it ASMR related? I feel like with that
Oh.
voice, you know what I'm saying?
No, but I like where you're going.
Okay.
with this.
All right. Yeah. I'm just
I
giving
was
you
gonna
ideas.
say I want to start like an OnlyFans account for myself, and but only let people named Sam join. So it's like an Only Sam. So it's just like a community of Sams.
So with female like Samantha's, if they
Whoever,
go by
if your
Sam,
name is Sam,
yeah.
you're in,
Okay.
That's
and you want in,
hilarious.
you're in. But that's it.
Shout
Only
out to my
Sam.
cousin Sam.
Dude.
You're already on the list.
You're in, dude.
Only
Wait,
Sam's,
so if you have
dude.
Sam, you have a free pass, and then other people have to pay, or just only Sam's?
Nope, nobody else, dude. Sorry,
Do Sam's have to
Dude.
pay though? Is it just free?
I haven't gotten that far. You know what? Somebody else can have that idea. Maybe it's not my best.
All right, I'll tear up the NDA.
Tear it up. It's yours. So yeah, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then I actually, so I moved to Boston, and
So what made you move to Boston?
I
A girl?
went back to school. I
Oh,
actually
college, check.
I went to Berkeley for a hot sec. So
Oh, nice. Awesome.
one of the things that I felt with music and with college was that I never really gave music school a shot, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
I always
Right.
wrote it off in high
Mhm.
school. Even though in high school I was like active, I was playing in bands, I played shows around town in those bands.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely played, like I did the pit orchestras. I played guitar and bass for
Nice.
Chicago and the Wiz in high school. So I was like active and stuff.
Mhm.
But music school always felt like not for me. But again, I never really tried it or gave it a shot. So the pandemic happened. I was like, damn, dude, this sucks, and I'm not doing what I want to do. And now I have all this time and I can't go anywhere. And so I just decided, like, well, what's an application? You know, like who knows what could happen? And I'll be way happier applying at 23
Mhm.
than being 40 or 50 or 60 or
Right.
even 30 or 28. And
What's that process look like? Like applying for Berkeley?
it's a lot. It was a lot more than I thought it was. It's
Okay.
like a long application with essays and extra documents, whatever you want to give them, like basically building yourself up. You apply to the school, and then you also have to pay for the application. So and then, you know, if they want you, they audition you and interview you. And so yeah, it just kept stepping forward, and I kept going, well, I guess this is still possible. Like, am I going to take this another step forward? So I did the application. That was the bare minimum for me. And then they were like, all right, do you want to audition and interview? And I'm like, okay. So I did those. And then they were like, all right, do you want to go?
Audition and interview. So is that literally sitting you down, talking to you, and then play some instruments right now? Let's see what you can do on piano. Let's see what you
I think
pick
it
up
was
that guitar over there. And
kind of, it's like the interview was straight up just like an interview, and they ask you questions and talk to you for 30 minutes or something. and then the audition is like you play like a prepared piece, right? And then they like test your ear and your rhythm and your overall knowledge and like how deep that knowledge goes, and your music theory knowledge and all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
And they do it like all on the spot. You could prepare as much as you want. Oh, and they test your improv, which for me is like, that's probably the weakest part of my playing.
Really?
Yeah, if I had to pick something, I'd say it's probably that. But I'm
how do they test
actively
it,
working
though?
on it.
What
What's
do
that?
they give you? Like, how do they test it? They give you chords, and you have to just jam over
here's
them?
a
Or are
chord
you-
progression.
okay.
Here's
Okay.
a key. In fact, auditions are ongoing at Berkeley too. It's like you do auditions to continuously get ranked basically for the classes that you're allowed to take based on what
damn.
they decide your level is. I think it's a kind of a flawed system, to be honest, and it's very difficult doing these auditions for me.
Okay, before you move on, I just
Oh,
want
yeah.
to say, think about being in a band and having a goal in a band, and then there's one player that's lacking, that can't keep up with the rest of the band. I think that might play into what they're looking for to make sure that their classes move in a manner that they want them to move, and they're not dragging anybody while they're trying to do whatever they do in these classes.
Probably, yeah.
And either way, I think that those people should still have access to schooling, but it does sound like you're trying to get into fucking Hogwarts, dude.
The thing that's insane about those auditions in particular, not the audition that I did to actually get in or not get into the school, but the auditions that you do when you're there, they last like 3 minutes. You go into a room with two strangers and they just fucking drill you. Like they throw everything at you. In fact, I had one of those guys at one of those interviews or auditions. He said to me, "Can you play a whole half diminished scale starting on F?" And I hesitated for a second, and he said, "You don't have it. If you had it, you'd have played it already." And I was like, "Bro,
God.
It's this
Like,
musical boot camp, dude. It's
dude,
musical boot camp.
It was insane. Like they really
You're going on trying to join an army.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
you
heard,
just did it. You just did it, but you hesitated, and he was like,
Well, I didn't get to do it because there was too much thought went into it. I didn't have it quick enough for him, and so he just said, "Okay, we're moving on."
Oh my God.
But it was
Smell
like
your own farts.
When I say it
wine
was
glass.
a split second, it was like, dude, give me like 2 seconds. Like
I almost would just be like, "Fuck this school." I'd be like very angry if that happened. I'd be like, "Come on, let me learn. I'm interested."
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one of the things I don't think they code for is the pressure of those auditions, because those auditions determine what you're able to do and who you're going to be with. So if you don't do well, you're going to be
paying for it sucks.
Yeah, basically,
So I just remember that you pay for that. You pay for that to do that, dude. So if it was
cost
free,
you money, not knowing half whole diminished.
If it was free though, then that whoever has that situation can go home and fucking learn whatever it is to do a half diminished fifth fucking flip over shit that you just talked about. I don't remember what it was, but I heard diminished in half. I just
you got it basically.
Yeah. He can play with you on guitar.
You go hit the fucking books and come back and be like, "Bitch, here I got the half flip over fifth right now."
It's like the Joe Satriani style of teaching, or he's like, if you don't want to, like, he'll like be like, "Here's all this crazy homework." I've had friends take lessons with him. It's like, all right, learn like 10 things that are kind of like learn like these 9 scales on each string, and like come back here and like they would come back like forgetting one or something. It's like, okay, well, I'll work with the next person then. I don't want to work with you. It's like they just like they have no like musicians kind of when you get in that kind of upper echelon of scholastic musicians, it reminds me of the South Park farting in the wine glass and smelling the wine glass kind of. It reminds me a little bit of that. Yeah, a little bit of that.
But it's like
kind of like, oh, you don't know? You don't know? Oh, you don't know, dude?
Oh,
well,
sure.
It kind of has the elitist vibes to it, where it's, but also is like, don't waste my fucking time. It's a lot of things like mixed into that,
Maybe. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to. I'm not. By the way, totally not knocking going to music school. By the way, I think like if that's something you really want to do,
Yeah.
go for it. Like, give it a shot. I mean, I'm really glad that I went and tried it, but I did drop out after a semester and a half.
We went to Harvard of music, though.
So
just to like, you went to.
Yeah.
That's what I was just saying. It's like
top.
the Yale, and you and
It's
I,
like
Joel, are cavemen being like, we've listened, we hear all of you guys, and we like it, and we love it, and give us more, and why isn't it easy, and
yeah.
But it really
I mean, no,
is.
there's a lot to it.
Echelon. There's an upper echelon of comprehending music that you and I can't. I'm lower on that scale. I'm the lowest on this podcast.
Well, I've found too. It's like it's infinite the amount of studying and learning there is to be done.
I just know it sounds good to me, and I know it makes
like math too. It's still along. It's alongside math too with a lot of it. Like, where does it end? Like, it's not like there's so many different endless variables. Like,
it's
math is endless variables.
It's all everything that you can do. I think is like a practice, and you just have to keep practicing. So music theory is a practice. Playing with other people is a practice. Man,
think of the math of us talking right now. Think of the math of just literally the rhythmic aspects of us talking right now.
It's such a technical rhythm, dude. I don't want to.
Sure. I mean,
dude, we're crushing fucking calculating infinity right now, dude, with our conversation. It's so much more dynamic.
Still not enough.
Out of the dynamics of normal.
It's rocket science, dude. What we're doing right now, just talking a little buzzed on some microphones.
Dude.
Yeah, using math as like the variable that makes things what they are. Like, dude, conversation is very complex. All right, let's get back into Sam again, dude. So I want to know when you got out of that funk. You were, we're talking pandemic funk. Everybody had their funk.
Sure.
So what made you pull out of that?
Well, I mean, I moved to North Carolina, was pretty sick. I started this band and wound up doing a record in North Carolina. And that was my first experience.
Plug it. Did you say the name?
It was called Inhale Existence.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
That record is out. And as soon as the record came out, the band kind of went quiet. I don't think we're going to be doing much anymore. But it was a sick experience, and I got a lot of insight into what goes into making a record like good. As good as possible. I saw it's a like prog metal, like experimental prog metal.
Nice.
Think like more in the lane of Periphery, Dillinger Escape Plan, BT Bam kind of sound.
Sick.
Try to make it as heavy as possible, and Inhale Existence. Yeah, you nailed it. But yeah, it was a great experience, and learned quite a bit working with a producer for the first time, like really working with a producer, not just shadowing, not just doing something in the room like videography during a studio session. It was like, no, now you're playing guitar and you have to work with somebody. It was like, it's a good experience. So I got that. And that was a great experience. I mean, I had so much fun doing that. I know I keep saying it, but and then from there I went to Berkeley. And so, I mean, by then I was like full speed ahead. I'm doing music and I'm just on this kind of adventure,
So, I mean, with I know Ricky was actually the guy that was commenting a little while ago. He, me and him are big prog nerds. I mean, I'm more of the newer style of prog nerds or nerd. It's kind of like, like Haken, Leprous, Clueless, Horse. Have you jumped into any of that stuff? Because
me, love those bands,
dude. Yeah,
new Leprous record sounds like it's going to be really sick.
Yeah, especially that's taking risks, like kind of like different style with more of the
definitely
more of the ambient stuff, and then and obviously like Enar is like one of the sickest vocalists I've ever heard. But and the drummer, absolutely insane. For me, it's like the style of music I've been kind of stuck on. It's the old 40-year-old guy. I keep saying it again. But getting into like more prog rock. But you started with prog rock. You started with Rush and stuff like that. Do you so is that kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to say it. You're 28, 29?
28, yeah.
28, yeah.
Mhm.
For me now, I'm like turning into the old man where it's like it's just only prog for me. I'm like,
Dude,
it's
nothing
like
wrong with
it's
that,
gone. Yeah, I mean, I still listen to all the new death metal releases, and with all the stuff that's coming out nowadays, I kind of am more, a lot of the, talking about like taking chances on sound, taking chances on engineering, taking chances on making it not sound similar, like try to like have a like what Opeth did with Heritage, like trying to be like a little old school, like but also still current. To me, I kind of been going towards the prog, like trying look where there's like prog just means whatever genre you want, but like a little underlying metal rock, basis of I don't know.
Dude,
There's
nobody
no
talks
question there.
about Damnation. I gotta say it again. I listened to Damnation, dude.
I love that record.
Damnation is again. It
insane.
proves the point of he's been telling us this is gonna happen for a long time.
Yeah. They take
And
risks,
damn-
man.
Everybody's talking about
risk.
Heritage, but why isn't anybody up in arms about Damnation, which happened so long ago?
Probably
And that
because
was them.
they did
That was on
Damnation and
purpose.
Deliverance together almost, and then
Yeah.
followed it with,
Yep.
with
You're
Ghost
right.
Reveries. It's
Yep.
like,
Nope.
yeah.
But
But
you
man,
Damnation's
put me in
or
my place,
Deliverance
dude.
is like
That's
their
exactly it.
apology, going like
They released a
Deliverance is like,
double
I'm sorry,
album.
we
That's
went soft. I'm sorry, we went soft. I apologize. Here's Deliverance. It's
But
like, here
still,
you go.
he's
Here's the
still
metal
saying,
part.
Hey, we're capable of doing this, and we like doing it.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Man,
It ushered a
great
lot of
record.
metalheads probably into like a lot of like, come on, like there's other there's softer, cool music out there. You don't have to like because a lot. I think he kind of maybe realized that, and just like with all of our stories, we've noticed that like it started with this band crazier, and I feel like he was obviously ahead of that time because he's like our elder and saw that happening and was like, how about a fucking clean album? Fuck you guys,
yeah.
and just
I'm
Yeah.
sure
and then
that ultimately it's just boils down to like, here's what I want to do.
Yep.
This-
It does.
100%.
Which I
100%.
super respect. I mean, at that point,
Oh, most definitely.
I mean,
dude.
you're getting the truest form every time. You hope at least.
That's what I would want
Pretty
from
sick.
because I was, telling you that I follow artists, dude.
Yeah.
However they want to like blossom as an artist, I'm there to watch it happen. And I may have, I'm not this I'm an elitist in the sense that I like what I like,
Mhm.
but I also let that do its thing. I grab things. It's like plants and coming out to your garden and being like, oh shit, dude, the orange plant just turned fucking blue, dude. How'd that happen, dude? It's crazy. It's got like blue veins and shit. Now that never happened. That's kind of cool. I did like it
And
as
that's
the
how
orange,
COVID
but now I
started.
like it.
And there it is. Everybody got sick.
And they ruined everyone's lives.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually is very interesting for your story, though, that you had to deal with that in that time because
Yeah.
COVID affected a lot of people differently. Like I got the secure job during that time, and actually for me, it was very smooth. But for artists that were kind of like trying to figure out what's next, and like it started off like COVID's just gonna be like 2 weeks, dude. Don't even worry about it. That's all good. In the beginning, remember that was the whole thing. It's like, this is gonna be a couple weeks. We're gonna shut down for a couple weeks, and then we'll all right, 2 years. It's like oh shit,
Insane.
like it totally just changed, and it pushed a lot of art. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool art, and we're seeing a lot of it, but there's gonna be a lot of cool art forever because of that, of just being shoved depressingly in your hole, whether you want to or not. Like you have to either sit there and fiddle your thumbs or make music.
I wound up writing 3 albums during that time.
Nice.
And 2 of them are out. One of them I have no idea if it'll ever come out. But the one is the Inhale Existence album. The other is my solo album, which is definitely an active project. And if you leave this chat with any music recommendations,
how do you we were talking about?
What's that?
You already plugged it. What's the Bandcamp?
I said go to the Bandcamp, dude.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Casey put it up earlier. It was but I don't since he put it up,
dude.
What's your Bandcamp again? Sam?
It's just my name, just Sam Mooradian.
Sam Mooradian, Mooradian.
Yeah, I think you got it. Nice work. Most
Hey,
people don't
dude,
get
all
it.
I had to do is read.
Read the top.
Right in the,
Dude,
my eyes are still working right
you're
now.
like 13 steps ahead of me, man.
I've had 4 beers with us tonight and been smoking weed, and I actually can still read, guys. I'm stoked.
Fucking sick. Well, yeah, so it was
That's
kind
awesome.
of, I tried, it was a productive time. I mean, as much as I could make it productive. And so, yeah.
That's
and
when
then,
it formed.
you know,
It was COVID. It formed during COVID, is what you're saying. The solo project.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
and what, Inhale Existence or my solo?
Your solo.
You know, actually, I did put out, I was putting out solo music back in like 2018, I think. I put out my first
nice
EP or something. A lot of that stuff
Mhm.
is, I took it down because it's just not a good reflection of the future.
Well, what's cool is that you still had the balls to put it up when you did do it. That means you were proud of it at one point.
I still am, you know, and but it was also, it was like they were quiet releases. It was like I put it out and then I just made like a Facebook post and maybe I did a guitar playthrough on my YouTube channel, but it didn't really go anywhere. And I'm fine with that because the sound has changed quite a bit. Now I definitely know the direction that I want it to be in, and that's the album I put out is called Bad Brain. That's the direction that I'm taking it.
Nice.
And now that I have some time off between tours, I'm working on the follow up to that, which is pretty much written, and I'm just doing like the pre-production stuff for it right now. So,
where's your style like kind of going towards? Like, what's it like influence wise?
Animals as Leaders is probably is like a very big influence. But it's weird. It's like I try and play with time signature changes as much as I can, as much as I want to, basically, and I don't hold back at all. It's like very, very strange stuff. Some of it, I think. You decide, you know. But
that's where the math comes in.
That's no, for me, I actually like that's what I'm into now. Is like with Haken, they'll be like certain things where they'll change time signatures. You know, like every bar for like 16 bars, and I'm like, you'll get but there's a groove in there though that if you just fucking listen to it, like know, if you look at the numbers, you'll be like, what the fuck? Like if you're counting it, it's not going to be like as fun. But there's your feel in there.
That's exactly what it's like.
Example,
but it's still it's also very groovy and catchy. I'm a big fan of like hooks, so there's a hook or multiple hooks in every song. So
hell yeah,
I don't know.
Awesome.
Maybe you'll dig it. Just trying to be adventurous and push as much as I can.
Dude, I love and not to take it away from that, but I love Kyle's solo stuff too. So I'm definitely excited to dive into yours.
So sick, right? Yeah.
Archaeologist is fucking sick, dude.
He's insane, dude. Like, and I'm lucky too because you know we just wrapped up recording a new Fallujah record, and his he would send vocal takes, like his first. Here's a demo. Here's my vocals on this song, whatever it is, and like there was never a moment that I wasn't like impressed by it, man. Like for real. I mean, he just here's more fire. There it is.
So, I'd like a pharmaceutical engineered Kyle pill that I can take just to feel like what his brain is like during his creative process, just so I can like know what the bar is to work for. At least I hope I don't get addicted to the Kyle pill too much, but I would I want like a psychedelic blowout near death experience with Kyle just to get that feel of how far you could take this shit, because
you're gonna really dig the new record then, I'm sure, because it's his influence. I mean, it's all over the place. So
that's awesome. No, he's always been like, it's funny because for like a couple years ago I was going to shows a bunch, and like every show I'd go to and I would see Kyle, but I'd be like, I know that guy from somewhere. And like he finally came up and was like, what's up, Joel? How's it going? And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I first met him. I was like, Kyle, and I was just like,
he's always at every show though. He moved to Austin with you guys.
We're in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Nashville.
Austin, Tennessee. Yeah. He moved out to no, he moved out to with you guys and stuff. But I remember like at the time I was seeing him at every fucking show, and I'd be like, "What's up, dude?" Like every small show he'd be at, every like bigger show I'd see him. Like I would just see him. Just he's an like actual fan. Yeah,
for sure.
That's
I mean,
rad.
he's just like a part of the circles, you know. Like without 100%. A doubt, he's He also, by the way, I kind of made him do a 13-minute long song with me, and it's on my album Bad Brain. So he did vocals for 13 minutes on a song. I said, "Hey man, do you want to do like you want to collab? Like you want to be on? I'm doing this record. Like I got this song. Maybe you'd want to do some vocals on it." He's like, "Sure, be sick." We'd done a handful of tours together already, and he was down.
God damn.
But I didn't tell him that it was 13 minutes long. So I just sent it to him, and he was like, "Fuck, are you kidding me, dude?"
Joel, sorry, I forgot to cut out the stems, dude. It's only like 8 minutes. It's only like 5 minutes, dude. It's he's all shit.
I need to hit him up for some training tips, dude, because I could. I'm getting ready for the Severed gig, and I didn't plug it in the beginning, but Texas Domination Fest, 26th, 27th, 28th of September. I almost said December. Yeah, dude, we're playing the third day, but I'm I'm trying to get my voice back up without a band. I'm literally by myself. I'm not going to be able to rehearse with Severed until 2-3 days later. I mean, 2-3 days before we play. Mm-hmm. So maybe there might be hopefully 2 rehearsals in there.
Good God, yeah. Dude, you should hit him up for sure. I mean, he's got like a whole like regiment, and he's like legitimately,
I'm just trying to build out the stamina because I'm doing Servile song, and there was actually a few days where I got through the whole album where I was like, all right, dude, you fucking you stuck it out, and I was like, all right, and I would leave myself no space between songs, just like I'm listening to the album. And I'd get to the 3 or 4 songs, and I'd start to lose control a little bit. So I'm like, I could still get through the album where it's like, all right, there was definitely some spots in there where, but I don't stop. And so
what sucks for you is like it's the live music. When you have to do the live music part, you're going to push your voice even. You have to try not to push yourself even harder because
that's the thing where I'm actually at is trying to stay comfortable and not tense up while I'm doing what I'm doing. But it's weird.
The adrenaline's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and it feels good when there's parts. There's definitely I hit areas where I'm like, oh yeah, there it is, dude. There's that guy from when you were 20-something years old. There he is. He's still in there.
Hey guy, what's up?
Hey, what's up, dude? You've been fucking taking a long nap, bro.
Yikes, dude.
A long nap on the couch. You are definitely the dude on the couch and half baked, dude.
Dude, you're fucked. Get that mechanical engineer degree. Get fucking run with it, dude. I'm just kidding.
My God.
No, dude, there's other avenues nowadays. Well, there's other avenues, like especially like with the content, and especially with like what Scott's doing. There's like there's always going to be cool things to do in this style of music, and there's always going to be like a niche crowd, but there's also they're going to be fucking thirsty. They're going to be like into it no matter what. I mean, that whole what like Scott was doing and Justin McKinney and you know that's like a little fun thing that like they found a little niche to do. But there's always going to be those kind of things I feel nowadays with this kind of like technological like world, you know, overall, you know, right now it's Twitch and all those things, but like the next step is what? Like it's up to you to kind of like find it, you know. There's going to be something that everyone's going to fucking be like, this is sick. Take my money because subscription, whatever, just take it, you know, like it's people just nowadays, if they like it and they want to support you, they're gonna be like, fuck yeah. And it used to be just like, okay, well, the venue takes a lot of it, and then we get a little bit, and then we got the van broke down, so that's took down that's 4 shows worth of revenue right there because of the big issue with the van, or like, you know, or we paying for a fucking bus, which is $1,000, you know, $1,200 a day. It, you know, there's so many things on tour that's, I think tour is basically going to be, so it's kind of like opposite from comedians. So comedians podcasting is what makes their tours good. And I feel like tours are what make musicians podcasting or online content good. That's your free advertisement, or it's basically free because you're not making a ton of money. So it's like, that's your advertisement for yourself to get people out there under like knowing who you are, That's like you like doing the gritty work to kind of get people to know you, and then you can have the fucking
Then shout out to
digital...
Professor because he's the only one doing that for this show, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like it's because comedians will sell out fucking huge places just on a successful podcast, and I feel like
right.
having
Or doing the
Kind of-
podcast live.
yeah,
Like you'll see,
exactly.
you know, whatever podcast
Yeah.
will do a live show and they sell it out, you know.
So
There's something
crazy,
there
man.
that just
well,
you know,
since we're almost 3 hours, dude, and I know you're ahead of us, let's just talk a little bit about the last tour.
Sure.
Give us some fun stories
yeah.
from that, or favorite spots you hit on that tour, and we'll close it out on that, dude.
Sure. I mean, for sure, probably my favorite tour we've ever done. I mean, it was
Really?
hell yeah.
very sick. We did a Europe tour a few years ago that was also just an absolute blast, like through and through. I mean, I've never not had fun on tour, so
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm always happy to be on the road. But this one was special. It was ours, you know. It was it was to
awesome.
celebrate a record that, you know, The Flesh Prevails. I mean, it's like for a lot of people that was a very big
Entry
record
point.
for them, and I remember listening to it when it came out and being just like not able to comprehend it. I thought it was like next level shit, and it was something else. And so to be able to play it every night, man, I mean, what's not to love about that? So I had a
Totally,
great
dude.
time. Total honor. And yeah, I mean, favorite shows. Let's see. Montreal. Shout out
yeah.
to Montreal.
Mhm,
Y'all are
mhm.
crazy.
America's Europe.
We had people. I mean, the energy, man, it's like
Yeah,
it was insane.
100%.
Have you ever been to? I'm sure you played or otherwise been to Fuffoon's.
No, yeah. Yeah.
So
Fuffoon's is in
No,
in
I don't think
Montreal?
you have. It's like one of the more like it's the something electronics, Fuffoon's
yeah,
electronics,
Fuffoon
right? Yeah.
Electric or however the French
Electric.
fucking-
Yeah. And
But
yeah.
there's like there's a balcony there. It's you know, one of those, and people were legitimately climbing the balcony, like
Holy
from the
shit.
pit, jumping up and scaling the chicken wire fencing on the
Yep.
balcony, and then jumping over it and running down the stairs back into the pit. And I swear to God, I noticed it while we're in the middle of a song and I'm just playing and I'm watching people climb up 2 stories with nothing but people and concrete built below them.
Reverse crowd
Dude.
diving.
Dude.
Reverse crowd diving.
It
Is that
was
reverse crowd
insane.
diving?
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
think
exactly.
about Hypnotic, dude. It sounds like
Pretty
they
wild.
were being reverted back to fucking caveman shit.
It was
dude.
sick.
And
was,
That's
you're
cool.
dealing with animals at that time,
and it was
dude.
not just like one person. It was like I think 3 or 4 different people
Damn.
were doing it. It's like a
Crazy.
trend. It was like their version of rowing. Wild, dude. I mean, so sick.
Damn.
You know, I always want people to be safe at shows, but at the same time, well, no, but
Get
and at
primal.
the same time, I love the energy, dude. So
Yeah.
it was scary at first, but then I saw that they were like fine and being fine.
Well, I
was
think
like,
it-
all
it-
right.
it-
Well, I mean,
there's
hey, it's pretty.
there's
sick.
a
And
level of getting primal like that, but also I think there is a level of everybody's there to have fun. So I'm gonna still watch. Well, I don't know, climbing shit and jumping on people. I don't know if that's really caring about.
I didn't see anybody jump onto anybody.
No,
Like they didn't.
that's what I'm
jump
saying.
into
It's a reverse. It's a reverse
Yeah,
crowd
yeah.
diving.
They're like
they
crowd diving
climbed
away
up,
from the crowd.
and then they came up, were safe, and came down, and then they just
Yeah.
did it again.
It's like climbing the rope in gym class, touching the
Yeah, yeah.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
Being up-
Montreal like has a significant passion for talent. They want talented shit. Like they're no bullshit. I want you to
See
be
that.
good. I don't want you to be like a cheesy band. I want you to be fucking good and
Sure.
like I want you to shred and I want you to do like certain things, and that's what we're all about. And that's like that's why I call it the kind of the Europe of America. Is kind of like it's just this kind of like little branch of Europe that's up there, and it's Europe basically. I mean, if you
Kinda,
want
yeah. It
you wanna
does
get
feel like you're in
blindfolded
a different country.
yeah,
I
you
think
get
Montreal now
blindfolded,
is
get brought in
different
there.
than- They were.
No, it was
they were
always.
kinda,
I mean, Augury, think about all the bands, Obscura, all those bands that was like what those bands exploded up there because people wanted it almost reminds me of Japan. Japan loves technical stuff too. So it's kind of like the level upping, kind of like a little bit of this, I'd walk out just oh dude, you fucked up part. Just don't. I'd be like,
dude,
I know, dude.
It was high energy, man. It was sick. And
yeah,
those are the shows that I vibe with the most. It's like when you see the passion, and
we're
how
also talking about
are.
almost 20 years ago, dude. Joel, it might be different now.
No, it was. I'm talking about the decrepit tours. It's 14 years ago.
I know what you're talking about. The this kind of standing and watching. You know what I've learned though. I
think they love you, dude, and they're just like.
I do think that they're just enjoying it in their way,
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's like at first you can see that and see people just standing there and think oh, I'm playing terribly or this is not going well.
It's a version of a dude who's doing that, but enjoying it is the same version of the man who's trying to hold back tears. He wants to move so hard, but he's fighting it because
it's culture. It's culture. It's kind of it's not like a normal thing. Like you go to the Netherlands, there's been shows where it's just people are just
yeah,
and I was like, damn, dude, no one likes us. And you go out there you were the fucking sickest.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and you're thinking you suck.
Nice things to say at the end.
No, but there's an aspect of certain males that is I don't want anybody around me to know that I'm having a good time.
Oh, that's I know.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are in that, and certain European areas are just dude, I'm having the best time. This is so sick, but I don't want to show it because it's a
higher percentage.
I don't want to break.
They have the best. No, actually, the best.
I think they're there for a different reason. They're there to take it in and take in the whole experience, as opposed to I think some people go to shows to get that hype.
Also, a lot of people go to shows in a selfish kind of way where they I want to show myself and my moshing a bit, what I can do to a crowd. Rather than
that exists
listening
too,
to a song, which is awesome. I'm not shitting on those people.
If you look at it watching film, I like to watch film in a dark place with a nice sound system, no distractions.
Yeah,
that dude could also
more
look
artistic.
At a live performance that way and try and be tunnel vision the whole time and not care about anybody else around him. Just fucking take it all in, dude.
Sure. Oh no, at my age now, I'm
Sam
so
right now,
down.
dude. What's Sam doing right now?
And I also. I'm kind of like that too. I see Guttural Reef is saying the same thing. Is I for sure have gotten in the pit. I think the pit is fun, and I think the energy is fun. Being energetic is fun. It shows. If you see me at a show, I'm probably in the corner.
Yeah, me too.
Paying attention and
you're 40, dude. You're already 40. Congratulations.
I might head.
That happened to me when I was 19.
I'll groove.
Dude.
I'll groove with the group that I'm with. I'll groove with the group that I'm with. If we start headbanging, we're all headbanging together.
Yeah.
There might be a time where you elbow somebody next to you or whatever, and
so you were never a heavy drinking a metal person, Sam, because the heavy drinking would make me feel okay, well, I need to go in the pit at this part because I feel this caveman, and I'm very social anxiety. I mean, I have social anxiety that I deal with, but it's when I drink, I'm kind of well, this part's sick, and I want to go run into people. It's
dude, there's one band that still makes me get into the pit, and we all know it. We've talked about it several times. Yeah. Suffocation.
Suffocation, sure.
Yeah, Suffocation. Yeah. If I'm on the floor and I'm within the vicinity of the pit, or even
you're well, I gotta go in. Sorry, guys.
That's fair. I mean, there are bands that I would probably run into the pit for. I mean, sometimes you just feel that energy, dude. It's it's there. But almost all the shows that I've caught in the past 3 years now have been on tours.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen
the occasional
900 shows. You've seen 900 shows in the last 3 years.
Yeah, something like that. And I'll go to shows when I'm home too, but it's always oh, Rivers of Nile is in town, and we just wrapped up a tour with them, or Zenith Passage is here, or Inferior, whoever, and that's always just a homie fest. But I'm not there to go crazy or anything. I'm there because I want to be there, and
you want to root your team on.
See my boys, and good to see some good music.
They crush it. Yeah, it's you have boys that crush it at music, and that you're also a fan, yeah, do good, but you're not
Nashville's
you're kind of this
spot.
Yeah,
you're not I'm gonna go fucking
no,
crowd kill for this band. I know Dude, I never actually. I would just
Nashville?
get dragged in. Slayer pits were the only pits that I was like, that. Those were the pits where I was like, all right, dude. Well, you guys are trying to die,
Yeah,
and I thought this would be fun for a little while, and now I'm like, this is like now a life-threatening altercation.
yeah.
I'd rather just and that's kind of like where I moved on to be like, all right, well, unless friends go like, come on, we have to go in. I'm like, all right, it'll be fun. like a girls trip, like we'll go out and just do it. Fuck it, let's just go in there and
Sure,
just do it. That's the only time moshing is kind of like a really a thing for me now. It's kind of more let
Gotcha.
the kids do it, and I'll watch you. I want to watch the riff that I'm waiting for you to play.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll watch the drum part that I'm waiting for, whoever I'm seeing that at that night to play, and I want to like nail it, fucking nailed it. Sick.
Dude, that's my biggest fear is that people are like, is he gonna nail it? Is he gonna nail it? Oh, you fucked it up.
It's a part was just you. You're like,
There is
Dude.
a percentage.
So, spoiler alert. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
do it.
put this out there. There is a moment on the new Fallujah record where the whole band drops out and it's just me for a split second there, but it's like a scary, like 2 bars of a solo, and it's like it didn't occur to me. It occurred to me when I was writing it and pitched it to the band that it would just be me, but I thought of it like, oh, this will be a cool moment. It sounds sick, it'll be great. But
And
then
spotlight
Scott,
on you. It's like, don't fuck up.
we were listening to the record to the masters.
Yeah.
And Scott, he said, "Whew, scary. That's just whole band's gonna drop out, and it's just gonna be you up there, Whew, boy." And he said, "I see a lot of sad nights in the future."
Damn. So it's a hard ass
Dude,
riff.
I was like,
for a
"Fuck,
2 bar.
you
Okay.
are not kidding." I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like,
So
now
everyone
you-
stops,
that was
just
the
you.
plan,
You're like,
or
oh, shit. Yeah.
because the way you just brought it up, it sounded to me like it was a live recording. You guys didn't
No,
do a
he's talking
live
about like
recording.
like doing the album and stuff. Like he wrote
Yeah,
a part
like
that's going to
when-
be
when
just
we play
him
the-
for 2 bars.
This
And
new
like, but
song
what-
live.
And then
Okay,
they do it
so
live.
the band. All right,
In the studio, it's like, whatever, dude, this will be sick. This will be sick in the studio, dude.
It was
And then like,
basically, yeah.
happy accident or something.
Well, I'm always like, I'll figure out how to play it later. Like, this is the
Yeah.
sickest thing for the album. I'm gonna play it now, and it's different when you're sitting in a chair playing it than it is when
Yeah.
you're staying in front of an audience and you're standing. And by the way, when you're tracking on all my guitars amazing. Shout out to Jackson, best
Fuck yeah.
guitar company.
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
It's just an irrefutable fact that a custom shop guitar is going to play different in a recording
Yeah.
studio, that a production model that you're taking on tour and that you're putting through the paces with the humidity and the heat and
100%.
the changes in temperature. I mean, all the gigs, the constant string change. You get the idea. My point is,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that until he brought it up, and
That made
I'm
it worse
psyched
when
for
he
it, but
brought
it's
he
also-
brought it up, and it made it worse. Probably
It
you
did
were
a
like
little bit, yeah.
you were like, all right, well, yes, it's gonna be gnarly, and then he's like, dude, this
Yeah.
gonna be fucking gnarly, and you're like, shit, dude, don't
Yeah.
say that right now. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the dude. That's he
Yeah.
would know too. I mean, he's been doing
And he
this
was right.
for how many years now? And Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, bro. So I got home, and what was the first thing I did? I started practicing.
yeah, dude, because it's different when you're on stage and you're it's a good idea on the album,
Yeah.
like fuck yeah, I'll just do this riff for 2 bars, but then like it feels like when the whole band stops and it's you, like how far. So for me, in your position, I've done this a million times.
Yeah.
Playing guitar in bands and stuff too. Like I'm thinking about that riff like 2 riffs before that riff comes.
Oh sure.
I'm like,
Oh yes.
yeah,
100%,
yeah.
dude.
I'm like, and that actually makes it worse because I hype it up a little too
Yeah.
much rather than just go into it smoothly. I'm all, don't fuck up. You're gonna be by yourself in a second, so just
Yeah.
don't fuck that up.
You
like, in my
perform
brain
like
will
you're
be
playing chess. You
know
go
what?
3 moves
Yeah.
ahead.
100%. 100%.
It'll be fine. Sully is right.
Unless
It'll
it's
be
not, then it's
fine.
gonna be so much worse, and your
If you
brain's
make
gonna be
it
like,
through, it
"Fuck,
was
dude,
checkmate,
I-
four
dude.
riffs before."
Checkmate.
I'm certain that I will botch it at least once in
Yeah,
my
if
life.
if you know the reality, just be like, whatever. It's gonna.
I mean,
there's gonna be a fuck up. Whatever.
we played a new song for the past 2 tours, and there's a part in that song where the whole band cuts out, and it's just me, but it's like a clean guitar part, so it's not like a crazy, scary solo technical lick.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
was a show on this last tour where it just left my brain. It just the moment came and I stepped up
Mm.
and I just whoop, it's gone. And
That happens. That definitely
it
happens.
happens.
With technical music. It definitely like
You're
It
there's
a
so
only
many
human.
happened
riffs.
once,
You're a
but it
human
did
now.
happen. I don't know if anybody noticed because I still played the chords as best as I
Yeah.
could, and it's like basically like arpeggios, but
But to take
was
it back
for
to math,
sure not good.
human error is always in the equation, dude. It's just gonna
Yeah.
fucking happen, dude.
Yeah,
Our
it
brains are
happens,
only
man.
your capacity. The fact that you have what you have in your brain on call right now is astonishing. So it's
And there
you
has to
just
be an
gotta be
error.
like,
There has to be an error. Like
yeah,
There's
you
errors for
cannot
sure.
nail it every. You
I
can't.
mean,
You'll forget like the thing you've done 1,000 times in the last month. You'll
You
forget it.
yeah,
what'd you have
Like
for
all of a sudden
breakfast
you're like,
yesterday?
what's coming up next? Shit. You're like playing the riff before. Like there's a part that's coming up, but I have no idea what's coming up. Like,
sometimes I'll try and visualize the next part, and if I can't see it,
yeah.
which is pretty much every time I can't see it, I
Damn.
have to reaffirm myself that that's not the way to perform.
Yeah. That's
The way to
smart. That's very
perform is to
smart.
just play the note you're
In the
playing
moment.
Yeah.
Just be there and
and
just
trust that you put the work in. At
Totally,
least
dude.
that's my way to perform.
You're right,
So,
dude. Because I mean, just being a vocalist, you think about. There's been so many times right before I forget what I'm about to say until right before, but if I just
Yeah.
let go, it will happen when it's supposed to happen,
mhm.
and it's happened.
Yeah.
But
For the
there's
most part.
still this,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, for the
You could be
most
like, you could be like blowjobs, farting, and piss.
Fuck.
You're like, I
That's
don't
me
know.
Most
playing
likely
guitar,
just saying the wrong line at the wrong time. But either way, there's way more times than not does it just happen when it's supposed to happen.
for sure. I mean,
100%.
it's definitely most of the time your muscle memory kicks in and you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Just
just the way.
relax.
If you know
Just-
the songs, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Because I mean, that's I think probably my biggest fear. Is showing up totally unprepared and then having to play a show.
Oh, you have dreams about it
Mhm.
probably all the time. I have dreams.
That's
like that all
exactly
the
where I
time.
was going with that. Dude,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have had those dreams. I had a dream once that I didn't know the next song,
Yeah.
but I knew the song I was currently playing. And so I
Yeah.
hatched a scheme to project the guitar tabs
Oh, it's
over
way
the
too
audience
far.
onto the back wall of the venue.
That's awesome. Oh my
So
god,
that-
I was already
way
So
more
that
lucid
nobody-
I was
dreaming than
fucked.
us, dude.
In my dreams,
Nobody
I'm
could see
fucked.
it.
I
And
had
I
no
was
ideas.
And then the next song came, and I'm
You're
playing it and
watching
like sight reading. The guitar tabs are going are right there because I'm a Neanderthal. I just use guitar tabs like crazy. Shout out
Hell
Guitar
yeah.
Pro. I love
Fuck yeah.
Guitar Pro.
Oh,
Guitar
me
too.
Pro.
Yeah.
I
Hell yeah.
write, I edit, all that.
Yeah.
Love it. So
100%.
I'm sight reading the tabs in my dream for the song, and of course nobody in the audience knows, but the whole band can see it.
And they're all
So
laughing
I'm
at
just
you.
like this piece of shit. Unprepared. But the
I mean,
audience
Joel,
has no
what's
idea.
your version of
God.
that? I want to hear your version of that again because I have my version that happened. Like, I love
Mine's like
talking about
always
it.
a band that I'm like. It's like, oh, you're playing a festival with Deicide, but you've never practiced with them once, and you don't
Oh.
know any of the songs, and you can't find your. Someone took your guitar head or guitar, and you have to try to locate it, and you have to get that, and then you get your guitar head or guitar, and you get it ready to go, and then you have to. You only have like 5 minutes to learn the songs for the whole set, and then you go out there and you're just watching the other guitar player going like, what? Like
Oh,
trying
dude,
to.
yeah.
You're
Well,
trying
I-
to go off site. Yeah.
I have
like
for
watching
sure
his
tried,
fingers.
like,
Yeah.
not ever with Fallujah or as an adult,
Yeah.
but like as a kid, trying
Yeah.
to improvise or play a song, get through a song I don't really know on a
Yep.
stage, and just like watching the other person's hand and like
Yeah. That's my nightmare. That's my
for
absolute nightmare.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
terrifying.
it's like Glenn Benton and like all these like angry like death metal guys like what the fuck, dude?
Oh,
And I'm like,
God,
and I'm sitting there
it's
just
always
like, dude,
involves somebody who's mad at you
yeah,
for
yeah,
what you're doing, right?
because maybe the reaction that you're afraid of is booing or something being bummed at you, so it's kind of like enhanced in dreams. It's kind of like this
I'll
is
tell
the
you
nightmare.
this.
Yeah,
This is a real thing for me. Is like I feel way more confident playing in front of an audience than I do with the people I'm playing with on stage most of the time. Usually,
one-on-one versus Scott, like you and Scott jamming one-on-one, you feel way more, or like another guitar player one-on-one for me is like I feel way more nervous playing in front of my best friend, Carrie, when we're working on music and stuff, than having 10,000 people that I could face and play for them.
And I'll tell you a big reason that's probably the case is that you're like practiced and ready to go for that show, right?
Yeah.
It's and I'm talking specifically like not when we're jamming behind closed doors or when it's just the two of us, like that's fine. But it's when we're all on stage together. And it's just like I want to perform well for the audience. I really want to perform well for my boys, you know? I don't want to let anybody down. I want to like do my part. I want to nail it. I want to do as good of a job as I can. Sometimes your best also, and this applies to everything, is still has mistakes in it. And that you just have to accept. But for sure, I think about that more. Like I have more of a, like I don't really have a fear or adrenaline of playing so much. I mean, there's a little adrenaline, sure, but the audience is less of a concern for me.
But it goes back to your relationship with your band. Everybody is actually on a specific level of closeness. It's almost family style, where you have, at least in Odious and all that, we have a little bit of playroom for that shit because we all, dude, being in the jam space and somebody fucks up, we didn't mug anybody. We would laugh at everybody.
We'd stop playing. We'd stop playing when someone fucks up something super simple. It's like, dude, that one you fucked up, and ever since our old guitar player Dan came up with this idea that he's all, dude, I wish he said this in practice one time. He's all, I wish that every time that you fucked up like something on a song that a red X would just illuminate on your guitar, and so we could all just see it. So in the corner of your eye, you just see like a red X just going like beep, 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 like
Guitar Hero does that.
Carlos
takes your note out, dude.
Persephone.
You tour with them, dude. Those guys are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're great, man. Jesus, and they're great guys too. I love them to death. I had so much fun with them. But
I just got done with that tour. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
So Carlos, he told me that he did this thing that I hadn't picked up on, and then the next day I was watching their set and I saw him do it. He'll be like playing a solo or a riff, and then he'll look at somebody in the audience and he'll go like with his hands, like when there's a little break
right away.
Like I'll see him. I saw him do it, and I was like, "You actually, what a sick human thing to do!" Like,
I love it, dude.
I love that
review from him. So he's like, "You can say whatever you want, but this is my statement on what I just did."
I thought that was sick. Yeah, for all I know, he might nail it one night and go like that.
Yeah,
maybe he'll do really poorly and go like, I don't know. But I saw him do the kind of move, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's sick. And by the way, he did nail it. Like I watched him play it, and he did it.
And
to
that
my
goes
ear,
back to what we were saying, dude. It's only for him, dude. That was his review. How he heard it, he's like, oh, I could have bent it here a little better. I could have, I missed that note there, whatever. And
it's like, or you could be Yngwie Malmsteen, just be like, I fucking crushed everything. Fuck everyone. You know, it's like there's that dichotomy of ego where it's like a lot of people that are like are humble and like a lot of people that are humble are better. It's just how it goes. A lot of people that like understand that they might have fucked up. No one might have noticed it, but they're like, "Fuck, god damn it!" You know, like
I couldn't tell you one Yngwie Malmsteen song because I don't mouth steam. I can't. I don't really know his shit, and it's probably because of you guys telling me about his ego all these years.
But I love his ego for him. Like I want him to do that. Like that's my guy. I want to be egotistical. I want him to like be like fucking like pissed. I want him to like.
What's the Yngwie album that I should listen to? Give me one recommendation. What is it?
Rising Force.
I
probably
should
like
listen to that.
I mean, that's like an old school. A lot of the old school players. That's what like changed their kind of trajectory on stuff. It's very classical. But the thing is, for him, he's like, I fucking create. You know, he's like so cocky and egotistical. He's like the opposite of what you said with the Persephone guy, going like, He's the absolute opposite. He's like, no matter what fucking happens, I fucking crushed it. Fuck everyone. He's kind of like
That's crazy,
like,
man.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
good for him, dude.
It's like Dave Mustaine.
He's from the
in that
80s,
same
though. 70s, 80s.
realm.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's way more egotistical than Dave Mustaine. It's not even close. He's like the
Damn, he's
king.
that
I mean,
much-
that's no.
How is that
Remember,
not gonna
Matt
turn me
Sotelo.
off?
Matt Sotelo from Decrepit, like, went to go. He's a kid. He's like 13, 14 years old to get an autograph from him, and like he's like finally got him like one-on-one. He's all, I don't sign fucking autographs. And I was like, to me, I was like, no. To me, I was like, dude, that's a fucking autograph, dude. You just got shitted on by Yngwie. That's hilarious.
That's
like,
crazy.
because everyone, Pantera made fun of him. They would like follow him around hotel rooms with like donuts and go like, hey, how's a fucking donut? He's all, I don't like fucking donuts. And they're like, keep fucking. He's got 2 chicks on each arm.
Good God,
Yeah,
man.
no.
Shout out
Yeah.
Ian. He quoted that.
Oh no, that's from Pantera, the 2 video where they're just like, dude, Yngwie's in our same hotel room, and they go up with a bunch of donuts. They're like, dude, Yngwie, you want donuts? He's like, I don't like fucking donuts. Fuck donuts. And they're just like, it's like early Jackass what they're doing. Like it's like they're fucking with everyone knows he's the cockiest piece of shit that there is. Like they want to poke him and see what he does.
That's
and like
sick. That's
it's
a fun
hilarious.
vibe.
Yeah. No, I liked it. It's like. Anyways, we're pushing on 315 hours of
good God, so much content, dude. Content.
Dude. We're so content with our incontinence.
Have you been having a good time with us tonight, Sam?
Yeah, dude. It was this was a blast. You know?
Yeah.
Sam, thank you for coming on. I was very stoked to jump on here.
Yeah,
talk to you, and then listen to your beautiful NPR voice, and you guided us through the whole podcast. Of just actually no, you're a great guest, man. You're one of the better guests we've had. Just like very engaged, and I really appreciate folks like you. So maybe if shit doesn't work out, get on fucking radio, okay?
Maybe I'll start a podcast.
You should.
Why not?
And then you'll have a mortal enemy.
No, I don't give a shit. No,
we'll combine forces, dude.
We'd probably do it if we had like 5 listeners. We'd be like, fuck it, let's just let's hanging out with people that we like to hang out with. We're not like
that's what it's all about, dude.
We all have jobs. We're just like, let's just
literally this is easy as shit, dude. All we have to do is just put it live and people show up and we hang out, dude.
Yeah.
I worked 10 hours a day at my job and got here.
I had no idea. What did we start talking about right in the beginning? There was this thing that was like, there's no way I would have ever guessed that we would start talking about this. What
Ghost
was
velociraptors?
Yeah, dude. Ghost dinosaurs, dude. If dinosaurs had ghosts, like why don't we see dinosaur ghosts?
Yeah, I think it was like
Sam immediately shot me down
ghosts
with
bite.
Because they don't have souls.
They don't have
souls.
Like,
oh, they don't, dude.
That's right. Because dinosaurs don't have souls. They're not people like us.
I'm glad we gave Sam a good insight into being 40, and this is what you do for fun now instead of flying in front of thousands of people.
That cartoon dinosaurs do have souls.
Yeah, because they talk and they cry and they get trapped in tar.
Well, I'm glad we got the recap. That's good, dude. That's a good start. I like it.
That's
pretty cool, man.
Start.
So, dude, Sam, this is great, dude. Thanks for making this
coming out and hanging out, dude.
Easy as shit every week, dude. And we get guys like you, and we get to just kick it, bro. And I love that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me too. Well, thanks again. I've been really enjoying doing the podcast, the occasional podcast here and there, and this one was top notch, boys. Keep up the good work.
We didn't. We were too far in the weeds to where we didn't really get into how you came across Fallujah, but
dude, that's right. That's a
just do it real quick
story too.
All right, let's do a 10-minute wrap up of how it happened.
All right, go for it. We don't talk. Let them go.
Well, I think I could say this, but it was ultimately Wes Hauk who had seen my
shout out Wes.
My videos. So yeah, shout out Wes. You kind of changed my life, my dude.
He's been on here as well.
Said don't talk.
Of course. Well, he saw some videos, and then Alluvial was doing that 2022 tour with Warforged, Fallujah, and Rivers of Nile.
Shout out Warforged. Sorry, I shouldn't.
Shout out Warforged, absolute homies, and shout out Rivers of Nile, also absolute homies, and Alluvial. I mean, good God, I love all those guys.
Yeah, love it.
And Fallujah needed a guitarist, so Scott asked Wes if he knew anybody, and Wes said, "Well, how about this guy?" Just from watching my Instagram videos and my YouTube videos and stuff. And then I think Scott saw the Necrophagist full album playthrough that I did, and he was like, "All right, maybe," and then hit me up, and I did 2 video auditions. I sent in a playthrough of The Void Alone and Amber Gaze, and there it is. I secured the bag. And
you got recommended by Wes? Jesus Christ, that's one of my
yeah,
favorite
I know,
rappers.
right? It's a huge.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
what a
like
fucking honor,
Dimebag
dude. I mean,
2024.
if you want to go
Yeah.
back, Sam, and watch a couple of cool episodes, he is definitely a cool guest.
I will. Yeah, I mean,
Wes is
touring
amazing.
with him was a blast, and I'm sad because I haven't seen him in fucking 2 years or something since then. I haven't seen him since the tour ended, but dude, I mean, it's it was very humbling. It was very sweet of him too. Like I don't think he thought much of it. I think he just genuinely thought that I could do it.
Which is even better. That's even better than like he's not trying to hook up a homie. He's like, this guy actually, I feel like his playing speaks for you guys. That's like way more of a compliment.
I guess so. I mean, I'd never met him, and we'd only talked.
Have you still never met him?
No. We toured together. We toured.
You told me that. You told me.
So he was on that tour. So
Okay.
I met him, and we hung out and toured and did the thing. And but yeah, we'd never met before that. And the only contact we had, he sent we talked a little bit on Instagram, but it was just like very, very little stuff.
That's what we would call game recognized game.
in the Pacifica Hood.
I guess so. I hope he doesn't mind me name dropping him, but that is what happened. And
I love Wes.
Yeah, a shout out to Wes Hack. I mean, that man is like, Jesus Christ, dude.
That fucking vibrato, dude. Jesus Christ.
Calm down.
Give me that vibrato, dog.
Leave some of the steadiness for the rest of us, man.
I know.
God.
And the fact that he started so late playing guitar pisses me off even more. I'm like,
it's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
So,
usually you have to be a kid to be that good. Anyways.
So talk about, by the way, and that was my first tour too. So I'd played shows, I'd played in bands, but I'd never toured. I'd done like little trips to play shows, a couple states away as a kid, but nothing like
but the real thing. You're
not
just like,
the whole country. So and then so not only is it my first tour, but I've never played with Fallujah before, other than the rehearsals, and I had 12 songs to learn because we had some routing dates and we wanted to have a big sort
arsenal
of umbrella of what we're going to play. 3 of them were new songs that were unreleased, and I got recommended by like the GOAT.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck? How I have to play well, or I'm gonna be, or this is it. So I dropped out of Berkeley.
Yeah. That's
I was like,
I mean, what's Berkeley's not gonna like, get you like a position at a firm to make a steady salary. It's like they're trying to get you to be ready for being a musician and touring and stuff like that. So you got like light speed fucking access to like jump in the mix.
100%. And I don't regret anything about it. I'm so psyched, man. I mean, like, eternally grateful to Wes. Super glad that I was where I was at the time. Glad I put out the videos I did because they actually got me something. And I mean, I had to audition and then play well, but that was
true or false. When you gave him your resume, was Berkeley on the resume?
I didn't. Yeah, I must have been. I remember talking to Scott for the first time, and he was kind of like asking about what I was up to, and I mentioned pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I even told him that this would be my first tour, too.
What about mechanical engineer? Was that on there?
Fuck yeah, it was, dude. I'm trying to bold everything. This is
I mean, you worked your ass off, and it shows that you like started from point A to point B to get like something done.
Worked just hard enough to get the degree, but I did work my ass off for that first tour and for all the tours since. Yes, for sure.
Work smarter, not harder.
Worked as much as I could because I mean, like, ultimately, I see how important this is, like, to myself, but also to the band, to the audience. How could I let that slip. So
the second or third time tonight, I've been seeing somebody referencing a van. Did you guys have a van issue on this tour?
Tons.
Let's hear
Well,
them,
we only
dude.
had, you know what? We only had minor issues,
Yeah.
like things that we didn't have any flat tires. We didn't have any transmission issues. We did nothing crazy.
Yeah,
We had things that we could fix, but were just scary enough that we thought for sure for a second, like we might be fucked. But every time we pulled through, we got it covered. So like our van overheats, unfortunately, when the AC is running and we're in the desert, especially, it'll overheat. So had to turn off the AC whenever, like you're driving and you're also like driving the heat of the engine. You're like,
I've done that too.
Going down a hill, you can have the AC on, but if you're going up a hill, you got to kill the AC. If the gauge gets to a certain spot, you got to crank the heat in the van to cool off the engine. And then if it's really bad, you got to pull over and cool off. So
we've done that before where it's like all of us like pretty much naked and decrepit in the van where it's like it's 100 degrees outside. Shit's overheating. We got to crank the heater. Yeah. We have all the windows open. We're just all in our boxers, just like
cranking the heater actually cools. That's a good little tip. Yeah. If you're overheating, it sucks, but you got to turn on the heater, and that'll get you a little bit further if you're trying to get to a place where you could stop.
Like if you care about your band, put on the fucking heater.
Yeah, dude. We for sure. We call it sauna mode.
Yeah, sauna mode. Yeah, that's healthy. That's what.
Mode. Yeah, I think it
you
was
guys give us a mobile sauna, dude. That's what you guys are doing. You sweat out the fucking Bud Light that you guys got.
If you go fast enough, the wind's hitting you too, so you're sweating, and it can be cool as long as you have water. You know.
Well, and that was something I tried to keep us up on as much as I could. Like not just me, there was like all of us, but for sure there was a point where we thought we had a lot more water than we did, and we didn't discover it till we were in the desert on a drive, and we were like.
That's
okay. Next gas station, we're getting a case of waters, boys.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around.
Wait, you discovered that you were out.
Oh yeah.
We
discovered we were out. We discovered we were down to one bottle. We were like, oh shit.
I thought. How many dudes in the van?
7.
5, 6, 7.
7 of us.
At one bottle of water.
Well, we were fine. I mean, we like 30
Did you pass? Did everybody have to hit that 7?
Nope. No, nobody was like thirsty, and we weren't in a crisis. But if the van broke down and we didn't have service, we would have been.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you guys would have been.
We were very well prepared. Like we handled this well. The van held up. We got everything looked at a million times. Got the AC all fixed. Everything was good. It was just like one of those mini oversights that we had one day while we were driving. We thought we had the waters that we didn't end up having. I think part of it is because we just take waters whenever we want them, and then you find yourself in the desert and you don't realize because you just take the water for yourself. You take one, you're done. You don't count them.
So like, everybody's doing that. This is piss.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't find a single bottle of piss.
Damn, that's a single
bottle.
2024 is really moving
pretty
along.
good.
You guys hit hotels every night?
A lot of the nights, yeah. Not every night. We'll do nap time where we we pull over and we sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of longer drives on this tour, so definitely some nap time. But hotels when we can, and man, we had one hotel, dude, that was bad on this tour.
Really?
Too. It was like straight up there were like bugs hanging out in the corners and stuff.
If you're tired,
no bed bugs, but like just enough that we were kind of freaked. Like, should we stay? We left like terrible reviews because it was a terrible place and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
But anyways, the hotels, sometimes.
Dude, oh my god, dude, Ian is on point right now. I'm like, yeah, dude, totally, bugs, dude. So I'm like racking.
I was gonna say, Severed stayed at a place one time where the siren for the fire, like the fire siren that would go off if the place went up in flames, was in our room.
Oh,
the way that the hotel was set up, they were like, fuck it, that's so we were literally like the whole night thinking we're gonna get bed bugs and fucking if the fire alarm goes off, we're gonna get blown out eardrums because it was in our room, dude. Like
That's
what the
crazy.
fuck,
Like
dude?
I would have just gone to the van at that point because I don't fuck
Dude,
with
I did actually.
Yeah.
I'm on that vibe too.
Yeah.
I'll sweat it out in the van. I like to sleep on my own pillow. You
Oh,
know,
sure. Yeah, we all
a
had
place like
color-coded
that.
pillows.
Yeah, staying at enough Motel 6s on an underground death metal tour, dude, you realize those pillows are not safe for everyday use.
No, and that's why we have our own for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we do not. I've caught people like stealing pillows, and I won't say who. And this is a while ago, and it's fine. But we
From the
definitely were
nice
like,
hotels or whatever.
we're buying our own. We're getting pillowcases.
Hey, dude, you stay at a
there it is.
Marriott, steal one of those pillows, dude, and you didn't hear it from me, dude. They're better pillows than fucking Motel 6. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, yeah,
But
yeah, got to know your
Sure.
pillows, dude.
an underground death metal band can't really afford staying at a nice place. Like that's the whole thing too, dude, is getting doing these US and Canada tours in the dead of summer or the dead of winter. There's so many extra costs and shaving the budget to where we have to sleep under sinks and fucking share hotel rooms with multiple bands where everybody's sitting head to foot on the bed, 4 guys on each bed, and the whole floor is just humans. But those aren't the things we also, when you look back on it long enough, those aren't the things we really think about. Or we look at that like that was kind of cool because we got to be able to play this place and we had a good show at that place, and you just sacrifice in order to have that time out on the road where, again, being up on the stage where you're looking for approval from all your other homies that are up on stage with you. And once you got that, you guys are all having fun. Everybody's hearing each other.
Sure.
And you have a great show. There's enough people in the crowd where you can understand the energy is there. It's just, that's what it's all for, dude. All those sacrifices we're talking about is to enjoy those moments.
You're telling me it's not to sleep on the floor next to your buddy and you're way too close.
Yeah, dude. Smell each other's farts in the van and
it's trying to like cuddle with your bros, and like that's why I tour. It's like trying to get
kind of is a cuddle with the bros, dude.
No,
there's times
boys
queen beds
every night.
Yeah. It's like it's crazy how used to used to sleeping next to Bill from Decrepit. Just like, all right, bro, let's go to bed. In the same bed. It's like, and we're just like, whatever, dude. Just at first I was a young kid going like, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. Like I've never done this since I was with my father as a kid.
It's normal. That's
and
normal on tour.
Bill was like 10, 15 years older than me, so he'd be snoring all loud. And I just move. I learned the whole move.
I got a comfy little spot right here.
No, I learned the move. Just shake him real quick, and then just turn over and just be like, to stop the snoring. And then you got like,
because he's snoring.
Yeah, then you got like 4 to 7 minutes to like try to get to sleep before he starts snoring again. You're like, all right, dude, he's shook.
Bro, that sucks. I for sure have slept many nights with earplugs in.
That's the best move.
That's the move, dude.
Dude, you know what I do now? Like at home is this is probably a tour move. I use the blinders with the Bluetooth speakers and
that's what our photographer media guy Brian Cray, who also shout out to Brian.
A sleep mask is key.
I'm completely out. Yeah, you have stuff like keeping your mind going. You can just go. Someone's snoring. It's like whatever, dude. Like,
well, not that, dude. When you're in a van, you're up when the sun's up.
You burn alive.
Die.
If you're a sleeper like me, as soon as the sun's up and my eyes, I must have like a thin lid compared to most people.
Bro, you got a thin lid, dog.
Lids, dude. My shit's I got some pussy ass thin lids.
I'm gonna start telling people they have thin lids, dude.
Dude, you got like whatever, dude. You should like get up in somebody's face and be like, "Damn, you got like thin lids, dude."
Bro, I can see
They're like grabbing it.
Veins in those lids. You got thin lids.
Is that like a 1 millimeter? Like what is?
It's like we're gonna call you Thin Lidsy, dude. What's going on with you?
Thin lids.
But dude, that's how I am. And as soon as my
you got me.
my eyes sense light through my thin lids, I'm up, dude. So
We have
when
blue
you're
eye.
la-
Blue eyes are very susceptible to light. So like for
Yeah.
going outside, like, do you have blue eyes?
I do.
Hazel eyes.
All right, let's fucking
there they are.
The goddamn
wife's-
can survive the sun.
Yeah, you guys can survive the apocalypse with those eyes, dude.
Yeah.
You could
the
take
darkness
nuclear
within.
fucking bombs with those eyes, dude.
Bring it on.
But
No, please don't.
so yeah, it wakes me up, and being in the van, that was the thing. That I was like, I need a sleep mask.
You need
dude,
thick lids,
because
yeah.
You need thicker lids.
You need thicker lids, dude.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can
think people
tattoo
are
your
gonna
lids
respect you.
black.
That's
fuck.
right. My next
don't
screen name is gonna be like thin lids. Just like thin lids.
Dude,
lids.
that sounds like a sick like
Yeah, that's
clothing
old
company or
lids.
something, dude.
Thin lids.
Don't
He
take
don't
our
sleep much
fucking
no more.
His grumpy ass
That's
thin
their
lids
idea,
can't sleep
dude.
much. Like,
We're starting
No
a
one
business
knows
right
why
now called
his
Thin
lids are so
Lids, dude.
thin.
all right, that's a good place to end it. I
All
have to
right.
go
All right.
do stuff. Dude, Sam, that was fucking hilarious. Good time.
Yeah, we had a great
Let's
time, dude.
I'd love to have you on, obviously, again. You were fucking amazing.
Dude, I am down. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's are you releasing anything new with your solo stuff soon?
Oh yeah, dude. I haven't announced anything yet, but I'm definitely gonna have another single out this year, probably in October at this rate.
Nice,
And
dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be announcing a new record.
That's
probably about the same time.
We'd love to
So
talk
I'll
about it,
be
dude.
going
Love to
on
have
that
you on and
cycle.
talk about that. I'd love to talk to you about it and like go over the we can get the full listen to it, and then
I'm
maybe
down,
Sam
man.
will sue us if we play it. If we play it on the stream.
Give it away for
No.
free, dude. I want. It's yes.
Just sue us and then
everybody-
drop the case on purpose. It's like I just wanted to see you guys see what it was like. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
No, that's no. Label some. The whole like YouTube thing. I'm sure Scott
Sure.
knows all about you and yeah. But no.
Yeah.
I always ask like, is it your own label? What's going on? But I'd love to like start like listening to people's music and then like jamming out live with people and like rather than us talk about like thickness of lids.
Yeah. Dude, I'm down. Like for sure.
Yeah.
If anytime you want to talk about that stuff, just hit me up. I've got
Hell yeah, man.
Bad Brain is my first solo album that's out, and that was fun. This next one, I think it's better. I mean, I love Bad Brain. I'm still very proud of it, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I, think
I haven't
this
done the
is,
deep
like,
dive yet. I can't wait to do
Can
like
I
now.
name
I'm
it
like,
right now and call it Good Heart?
Good Heart. You know what? It's
so
funny. I
sweet.
actually, so I did write an entire other record during the pandemic that I think I mentioned it. It's like I haven't released it.
mhm.
I was thinking about calling it Worst Brain actually and doing like that's
Worst
the B
brain,
side,
dude. Fuck.
but I
Oh, yeah.
didn't do it.
You're all thin-lidded worst brand, dude.
Third
fucking
lid, third worst brain. I
dude,
can't even
thin-lidded, dude. would be
Thin
pretty
lids.
funny.
That's actually a pretty sick song title. I would use that. You got thin
Look,
lids.
Yeah.
people get grumpy and it causes like maybe a ruckus in society that they can't sleep enough.
I
They're
got
rude to
thin
people. It
lids and
goes down. I
light
got thin lids and I can't sleep correctly.
insensitive. I got pussy ass eyes and
We
thin
can,
lids.
we are
dude.
stuck on this thin lids thing. I feel like we
Joel
have to
won't leave
talk
it
about
alone.
this.
That's what it is.
It's the funniest thing I've heard.
You
in
should
the
have me
last
back
3 or 4 days.
just to talk about thin lids and like we can go into all the what can you like it.
Watch in 7
Are there
years,
good
Sam,
things about
Joel, and I
thin
have a
lids?
project called
yes,
Thin
they're-
Lids.
Thin lids.
No, Sam's like, is there positives to thin lids? Is there negatives to thin lids? The pros and cons of
I
thin
don't think
lids.
there is positive. Well, I mean,
Probably
if you're in a predatorial,
Your dreams might be
situation.
better because you can get more light
but
in.
if I'm
maybe your
sleeping
brain
and a
will take-
predator comes, then my thin lids
Oh,
will
you s-
How thin are the
alert
lids,
me
though?
to the movement that's
What's the
around me.
measurement?
Because if they're not like if they're thin
I
enough
would,
that
I
they
would
let
say
in
it's
light,
a 32nd of an inch,
like,
dude.
can you see shapes and like colors and stuff? Like
I
could you
thi-
see
I-
a man approaching?
I could
see
see
your
figures,
veins?
dude.
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
veins?
I could see
Damn.
figures, dude.
Do you see figures? That's kind of a superpower because people
Like
think
orbs
that you're
and veins.
asleep, but really you're awake and you're watching and waiting, and then
It's
an
it's
attacker
almost
comes and you pounce on him.
you take it back to our dinosaur talk, dude. It's like a velociraptor eyelid, dude. You could be
Smooth brain
sleeping, but the
thin
velociraptor.
Some Velociraptors actually
Smooth
did have a
brain,
thin
dude.
lid. They actually had
oh,
like
they-
the little, like the white eye would come down.
See,
Right?
it's
They got the
a
double
thin
blinking
lid.
eyes, like
They
the
got
cat
The
eyes.
second
Yeah.
one is
Yeah.
the thin lid, dude.
Taking pictures. Anyways,
All right, all right, guys.
All
yeah,
right, dude. Sam, dude, thanks for giving us all this
Yeah,
time,
thanks.
dude. I know it's
Yeah, man.
later for
Thanks
you
for
right
having
now,
me.
dude.
Yeah,
No doubt, dude.
enjoy
It
the
was a lot of fun.
record, and hopefully talk to you guys again soon.
Most
Well, yeah,
definitely,
dude.
Sam, dude. Let's keep in touch, brother. All right.
Cool.
Real quick, battleforgecoffee.com, generatorrehearsalstudios.com. Sam Mooradian. I'm drunk now.
That's all I have.
Mooradian.
There you go.
Bandcamp.
Mooradian, yeah.
There.
Yeah. Give me a
his
follow on
YouTube.
Instagram. Check me
Yep.
out on Spotify. It's all everywhere.
SAMMOORADIAN.
That's
Dude,
right.
I
And
should just the
You
plugs
nailed
at the end is just always a shit show for me.
No,
Oh,
we
for
shouldn't
sure.
do it. We
And
shouldn't
then
do it.
obviously don't forget Fallujah.
Fallujah. He's in the band called Fallujah. That's
That's
a premier rock band that a lot of people are into.
little
Um,
outfit.
Which is
That little outfit.
it's Fallujah SF still.
Yeah, it is. That's the Instagram handle. Yeah, because
Okay.
based in San Francisco originally.
What
Although now we're all in Tennessee. We're all in Nashville. So
I
now
know.
It's
Nashville based.
FallujahTN.com, dude. If you guys
Yeah,
want
It
to
might,
check that.
it might change
Fallujah
that. And
SF.
I might get a little butt hurt from being over in Cali, you know. I might,
Yeah, dude.
no, I'm just joking.
Nashville's the
Dude,
place, man. I'm telling you.
Nashville
I know
is
Nashville. I know.
definitely-
Kenny
I-
Naveener's like you gotta.
I
fucking-
alluded to
They're
earlier.
starting the Rogan Renaissance over
Well,
there.
exactly.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
baton pass too while you're on tour. And now that
Yeah.
death metal and underground metal it's flourishing out there, which there was a lot of other genres that were already, but now that that's part of that bubble, I
Mhm.
love it. And I love pockets that keep the bands alive while they're on tour. And
Sure,
Nashville is one of them.
Nashville is definitely that, and it's a great place to live, man, too, and operate out of. Like, it's just been kind of a breeze. The community here is great.
Speaking
So
of
many
breeze in
friends here.
Nashville, I had to check in with Naveen and Cheney when there was a fucking tornado gnarly
yeah.
thing going through there. So there's a little bit of a breeze out there. So there's shakes over here and there's breezes down there. So
Yeah,
you
we
gotta-
we're
right.
scared of earthquakes. You guys are scared of tornadoes. That's the thing.
Everybody's got their
Everybody's
thing, man.
got to be scared of one. Oh, actually, we're scared of shakes and we're scared of tsunamis every now and then.
Y'all
you
have
know.
fires too that are pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, we have thin lids, so we can like see like red coming and
God,
stuff.
dude.
All right, let's not
Thank
beat it
God.
out. Let's not beat it out too hard, dude.
All right, love you, Sam. Good shit.
Yeah,
a
back
good
at
night,
you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Keep
dude.
rocking.
Love you guys, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Rock on. Have a great weekend. Peace.